Step number 2 on the road to AT&T Stadium for the China Spring Cougars brings them to Navarro County to face a talented Kaufman Lions team that was state ranked at points this year. It's the area round of the UIL Playoffs as the number 1 ranked China Spring Cougars face the Kaufman Lions for a berth in the regional semifinals. Next on Friday Night Football. And with that, we welcome you to Corsicana alongside former K-State and Lincoln High linebacker Heckma Harrison. I'm Mike Leslie. Both of these two teams at points this season have been ranked in the state rankings. China Spring's been in there basically all season long, Heckma Harrison. This is a matchup of two good football teams in the second round of the playoffs.
No, absolutely. And obviously everyone knows who China Springs is. They're no surprise anymore. These guys have always made the trek to AT&T Stadium. The reigning champions in 4A, and man, this is going to be one of those matchups that obviously Kaufman has to come in with their A game loaded and ready to go.
Yeah, China Spring won 4A Division II last year, moving up to 4A D1 this year, but no less a threat to go win a state championship again, knocking off the defending 4A Division I state champion Stephenville earlier this year in district play, 38-36. Assuming the number 1 spot in the state rankings ever since. They are a fantastic football team, and they're very tough to stop.
No, they are. I mean, they have so many athletes, and this is a tradition that China Spring, they come in knowing that everyone is favoring them. Wouldn't know it, though. When you talk with Coach Beatty, his main thing is staying focused and staying humble, and these Cougars are ready to make another run.
Meanwhile, for Kaufman, they're going to have to get through a tough Kaufman Lions team tonight, 8-3 on the year. Again, at points this year, they've been ranked in the top 10 in 4A Division I as well. This is a team that is having one of their better seasons in recent vintage, and they've got a young man in Braxton Garman that really kind of drives the bus for them. They need, though, Heckma, as we look at some of the keys to this game, they need to ride him.
No, the key is for them to take the air out of the ball, to keep that China Spring offense on the sideline. And Braxton Garman is a workhorse running back. He's one of those guys that put the ball in his navel. He could carry it 30 times. They're not worried about saving anything for the senior tonight. Look for them to give this China Spring team a heavy dose of Braxton Garman.
He is our player to watch tonight from the Kaufman Lions. Coming into tonight, 210 yards shy of breaking the all-time single-season rushing record at Kaufman High School. He's had a tremendous year, 3rd in North Texas in 4A in rushing yards with over 1,500 on the year. He needs to be the focal point tonight for Kaufman, and he needs to have a big night tonight for Kaufman to win this football game. Meanwhile, our player to watch for China Spring, there were a couple options here. Yeah. We went with Trey Hafford. He's a big piece for them offensively and defensively. Heckma won defensive MVP last year in the state title game for China Spring, and he's a big impact player offensively as well.
You know, those dual threat guys, you have to ask yourself, which are they better at? Is it wide receiver or is it at the DB position? Yeah. No, I think this guy's a better defensive player than he is a wide receiver, but he also is an impact on the other side as well. He's been on the varsity for 3 years, so imagine the amount of snaps that he has and the seniority that he has also at China Springs. Again, this is a squad that we could have picked one of 15 guys to be our player of the game.
Meanwhile, as you look forward for these two teams within the bracket in 4A D1 Region 2, this bracket is unbelievably loaded. 6 of these 8 teams that are left in Region 2 either are state-ranked or were state-ranked at some point this year. Kaufman and Kennedale have been state-ranked at points this year in 4A Division I. It is a gauntlet the rest of the way, Heckma.
It really is, and I think everyone is kind of wiping their brow because Anna is in this bracket as well. Let's not forget about those guys. Yeah. And so you talk about this bracket, the way that it's set up. I think right now China Spring is in pole position to make a run to the quarterfinals. They just have to stay humble and stay grounded and play error-free football.
Is tonight just another step in the march for China Spring back to AT&T Stadium, or can the Kaufman Lions pull the upset, the area round of the UIL Playoffs? Next on Friday Night Football. brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed.
Wake up with Daybreak to get your local news, weather, and traffic. But hey, it doesn't have to stop here.
No, we're passing the ball to our friends at GMA.
That's right. Your best mornings continue right here on GMA.
With exclusive interviews, all the top breaking news.
And everything you need to know to get going. And hey, nice catch, Robin.
All right.
Local live traffic updates when you need them.
And don't forget about the weather.
Get your day started with Daybreak.
With Daybreak and GMA.
Every morning.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Hey, I'm Jason. And I'm the other Jason. We're the co-hosts of Y'all-itics.
From Tiger Stadium in Corsicana, a neutral site just about an hour drive from both Kaufman and China Spring, a perfect stage tonight for the area round of the playoffs here on Friday Night Football. Head coaches tonight for Kaufman, Jeremy Burleson in his 7th year as Kaufman's head coach. For China Spring, Tyler Beatty, his first year as the head man of the Cougars. Opening kickoff from Kaufman, a fake of the onside kick as they are prone to do from time to time. But Thomas Barr will, Andres Gallegos will back up and kick it off for real, it would appear. China Spring with the football first tonight. As the kickoff is a line drive, caught on the fly at the 3-yard line and with a head of steam across the 25-yard line and finding blockers, free space out to the 45-yard line. Goes China Spring's Gabe Watkins and the Cougars, the reigning champs in 4AD2 with a fast start.
And I tell you what, they have all kinds of space out there. Look at this, how it was slow developing. There are a ton of blocks out front. Really lucky. The Kaufman Lions got right there. Gabe Watkins almost making the house call on the opening kickoff.
Heckma, it was a line drive of a kickoff. I'm wondering, on a lot of 11, kind of like on a punt, if you got a line drive punt, you do not give your coverage team an awful lot of time to get set up. They did not have much time there. And Gabe Watkins took advantage. 1st and 10 at the 47 to open the football game here for China Spring. Handoff, Kyle Barton coming near side. Lowers his shoulder, breaks a tackle, and into Kaufman territory after just one play from scrimmage.
Handoff to Barton, brought down by number 20, Pate Bowers.
Number 4, Kyle Barton. We are going to be saying that name quite a bit tonight. This guy is special. He's one of those guys that gets inside of the tackles really easy, and this offensive line for the Cougars, exceptional.
2nd down and 3. Handoff this time to Trey Hafford, and this time the Kaufman defensive front up to the task, taking him down for a loss of 2.
And we've seen this Kaufman Lions defense also. We know how special they are. So, man, for a 2nd-round matchup,
3rd down and 5.
This is going to be a tough game for China Spring. But I tell you what, they're no stranger to tough games. They know what it takes to win. And I'm telling you, when we got an opportunity to speak with Coach Beatty, he's one of those guys, very mild-mannered, but you could tell very serious about the business at hand.
3rd down and 5. They'll go to the air for the first time today. Cash McCollum pressured. They tried to set up the screen. There was nobody home. He's going to take off and run for it. Flag behind the play as McCollum broke contain and got to the outside. And it looks like this is most likely going to come back.
Yeah, it looked like a block in the back. I don't know if it was a holding penalty, but good job by McCollum getting out of the pressure.
See if you get a look at it here.
Blindside block on the offense. That will be a previous spot, 15 yards. Repeat the down.
Rob Jasper, our referee tonight. letting us know it was indeed a personal foul. The blindside block against China Spring negates a 3rd and 5 scramble and pickup of the first down there for Cash McCollum, and will set up instead Heckma Harrison 3rd down at about 20.
Hey, Mike, back in the day, that used to just be called keep your head on a swivel. Because they used to allow that all the time. It was a defender's block, not for looking for that guy on the crackback block.
It is indeed 3rd down and 20. Ball all the way back at the 37-yard line. McCollum will swing it near side. Blockers on the outside. Good job by Haffer to make the first man miss, but then bottled up at the original line of scrimmage of the 47-yard line, and it looks like the Kaufman defense will force a punt here on the first possession of the day for China Spring.
And that is good work right there for the Kaufman Lions. Coming out, getting it, obviously with the penalty, but that's a 3 and out for these guys. And Trey Hafford.
Back to receive Morrow.
Dallas Chandler there to cancel him out and make the stop right there at the 47, and out comes the punting unit for China Spring. Tristan Exline, their stud receiver and running back, as they come after it, nearly got on that punt. It's going to be a short punt that checks up at the 37-yard line, and China Spring will down it there. Exline almost, Heckma Harrison, didn't get that punt off.
No, he didn't, and I was really curious to whether they got a piece of that as it came off of his foot. Because simultaneously, you see the guy get there and it come off of his foot, and it looked a bit shanked as well. So maybe it's just the wind. If you see this wind out here, you talk about that line drive kickoff, the way that this wind is swirling off of these field goal posts, you can tell, man, this is off the goal post, excuse me.
It's going to be a factor tonight. Of course, both of these teams prefer to run the football, especially the Kaufman Lions with their stud Braxton Garman, and he'll take the toss here on 1st and 10, coming near side, falls forward to the 41-yard line, and a gain of 7. Braxton Garman coming into this game with 1,580 yards. He needs 210 the rest of the way, whether that's all tonight or if Kaufman's able to earn themselves another opportunity to play next week. He needs 210 yards to break the record for a single season rushing output from a Kaufman Lion. We'll see how close he can get, if he can get there perhaps tonight, Heckma Harrison.
Well, if he gets 210 tonight, the Kaufman Lions win.
He'll take the carry here on 2nd and 7, and he's got the first down of this football game out to the midfield stripe. In fact, there was a comment here in the YouTube feed just a moment ago, Heckma, that was talking about exactly that. It was a Kaufman fan saying, if Braxton Garman goes for 250 plus on the ground, we can actually win this game. I think Kaufman certainly understands they're the underdog in this game, but he is their bell cow, and he's the guy that can lead them to the promised land.
He's so big and so physical. He's a downhill guy. As we talked about him earlier this season, he just gets stronger as the game goes on.
A 3rd straight carry to start the game, trying to break a tackle on the outside. Look at the defense from China Spring. 5 guys enveloping him to eventually take him down after a pickup of about 4. Cage McLeod was the first one there, but he caught a face full of Garman's hand.
He has him for a loss initially, and then he still is able to power his way into a 4-yard gain. That just speaks to the kind of power that he has. I'm telling you, we were so impressed with him when we came away from seeing that Sunnyvale game.
Yeah.
And I've been telling you, we talked about him for 2 days after that game. He made a play right to score in the goal line, man. That was very impressive.
Now jet motion coming near side as the handoff goes to Kyle Von Morrow. He's going to have enough for a first down into China Spring territory at the 40-yard line. And a good opening possession here, at least so far, Heckma Harrison, for the Kaufman Lions.
Hey, I tell you what, Coach Burleson is not leaving any stone unturned in this running game. You can tell that there's going to be a point of emphasis to try and run the ball. This is what you want to do. Even in the open, we discussed it as well, saying that they have to take the air out of the ball. If you don't know what that term means, it's just basically run the ball, slow the pace down.
Yeah.
That's the way you win versus China Springs. Keep that offense on the side, but you have got to continue to pound this defense.
In an ideal scenario for Kaufman, this game ends at about 8:15 tonight. They want it to be on the ground all night long. Quick throw, though, and on target to Kyle Von Morrow. Good ball from Ty Burleson running against his body, and he completes it at the 32-yard line.
How about that throw from Ty Burleson? Quick out. He reads it perfectly, makes a great read. He has other receivers in front of him and gets it to Morrow. And Morrow is a speedster. We've seen a couple of times versus Sunnyvale where he runs that fade route. It's just all about those hands. He has to stay consistent and catch the ball. The junior has the speed, though.
2nd down and 2 after the pickup of 8 on the hookup from Burleson to Morrow. They'll go to the air again. Miscommunication there as Burleson was looking for the deep shot. Julian Prox, Dallas Chandler, the intended target. And it's 3rd and 2. Third down and 2. 2 backs in the backfield here with Burleson. Motion man out of the formation. Handoff Garmin running straight ahead. 1st down.
Handoff up the middle.
And I love they're trying to stay balanced, mix it up. But this is the guy that you have to get behind. Look at that, man. Braxton Garmin always falling forward. That's one of his positive thing about him. Just a big kid. Have him listed as 6 foot, 195 pounds. I doubt it. He is probably 2 biscuits over 205. Okay, there's no way that this kid is 195. Here, you look at his base. He has that big old thighs and calves.
Yep.
He just looks like a running back. When you're down there on the field before the game started, he just looked like a thick neck. Look up running back in the dictionary, and there's a picture of Braxton Garmin. This kid is awesome.
Timeout called by Kaufman here prior to 1st down and 10. Take a look at our YouTube comment feed as you guys are already up over 800 of you watching right now here on the WFA YouTube channel. The commenter that I read off his comment earlier about Braxton Garmin needing to go for 250 plus. Commenter, I'm sure you understand why I'm not using your YouTube username. Any of you that can see his name in the comment feed, you'll understand what I mean by that. Vaughn Walters says that they're watching from Jasper, Georgia tonight. Naxalone, a usual viewer here on Friday Night Football, says Kauai checking in once again. Kauai, Hawaii.
Oh, come on. They just like to rub it in. That's what that is.
Yeah, right.
As it's, what, 40 degrees here?
It's probably going to get even lower than that over the course of tonight. We'll see. Out of the timeout, 1st down and 10 here for Kaufman and their sophomore quarterback, Ty Burleson. Single back behind him is Braxton Garmin. Motion man is Prox. Handoff Garmin. Coming near side. Lots of room to the outside. Inside the 20-yard line. Stiff arm for Garmin down to the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10. They're going to mark him out at the 11-yard line. And Heckman, this is a dream start for the Kaufman Lions.
How about that for Newt Richmond and Eric Espinoza on the right side? Well, they are plowing guys out of the way for China Springs. That's just great blocking up front. And again, we're going to be saying this over and over again. Number 11, Braxton Garmin, is the key to victory for the Kaufman Lions.
1st and 10 at the 11. 6:50 to play here in the opening quarter. Garmin with the handoff once again, running left. Has a man to beat. Lowers his shoulder into him and will be taken down right there inside the 6-yard line.
Around the left side, brought down by Trey Hafford.
How about that for Trey Hafford? Trey Hafford defensively, he reads this perfectly. If Trey Hafford misses that tackle, Braxton Garmin walks into the end zone.
Yep.
That's a guy that's had a lot of snaps of varsity football, and you tell the way that he closed on that, tracking that inside hip, that's a good job by your senior defensive back. That, oh, by the way, was an MVP in the state title. So, you know, that guy knows how to get it done.
There's a reason why he won defensive MVP last year in the state title game. Jet motion here, Dallas Chandler cutting upfield, lowering his shoulder toward the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Kaufman.
That's a touchdown for the Lions.
Dallas Chandler with the 6-yard run to finish Dallas a fantastic opening drive for the Lions.
Oh, I cannot wait for this replay. Look at Dallas. He is getting through that. He has 4 Cougars. He knocks these guys off of him and says, get out of my way. I am going to get to this goal line. And that gets the party started for the Kaufman Lions. They come out aggressive in their first drive and draw first blood.
Extra point from Andres Gallegos. They call him Crazy Legs, up and through, and it's 7-0 in favor of the Kaufman Lions. Dallas Chandler finishing off the drive, and a dream start for Kaufman, trying to pull the upset on number 1, China Spring. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff. Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed.
3 minutes and 50 seconds. Total 10 plays covering 63 yards. Kept up with the
7-0. Kaufman leads China Spring as Dallas Chandler finished off the 63-yard touchdown drive. Most of the damage done. No surprise by Braxton Garman, the big senior running back for the Kaufman Lions. But Dallas Chandler finishes the drive off jet motion, a 6-yard touchdown run, and they lead it 7-0 midway through this opening quarter. Heckma, you can't ask for a better start than this if you're Jeremy Burleson.
No, you really can. And I think Coach Burleson designed, most coaches, they go with their first couple of plays, all right? That's what you scripted out, and everything worked according to plan for him. I think even at the point where they started passing the ball, they got positive yards.
Yeah.
You got to Ty Burleson, that he, no mistakes made with the ball, but getting behind this running game is important. This offensive line, boy, they've come out with some fire in their nostrils tonight, and you could tell they are getting off the ball and driving this Cougars team back, and we're not used to seeing that from China Springs.
Yeah. Gallegos pounds that one into the end zone over the head of Trey Hafford.
ball sails into the end zone.
And out comes the China Spring offense. Once again, we saw them go 3 and out. The penalty negating the first down run from Cash McCollum on 3rd and 5, leading to the 3 and out and the punt from the Cougars on their opening possession. Now finding themselves early on in a 7-0 hole, Heckma.
Yeah. Crazy leg. I like the name. I forgot about it, man. And he kicks that thing. Guess why we were so surprised by that first line drive, because we know this guy could kick it out of the stadium.
Yeah.
But I look for the Cougars to respond. They have that championship pedigree.
Barton spinning his way out of the initial tackle and able to pick up 4 on the first play of the series. Give you the starters there from the Cougars offense. Barton, X-line, Hafford, those 3 are going to be their main guys all night long. You'll see the ball in their hands time and time again. China Spring averages 47 points per game. Their head coach, Tyler Beatty, said to us earlier this week, we are going to run the football until you stop us or give us an opportunity to put the football in the air because you're committing so much to stopping the run. This time it's going to be Hafford on jet motion. Stiff arm, lost the football there at the end as he got undercut. Heavy tackle, and Hafford was a little slow to get up there.
Yeah, he really was, and you could tell he got to the outside. Look at Hafford. He's just trying to read those blocks, and boom. There comes number 13, Juju Prox.
And he grabbed at his knee pretty quickly there. Had to be helped back to his feet. He is staying on the field. That's a very good sign for China Spring because now I think they might be stopping the play. They're saying he's going to have to come off. It's a good sign for China Spring that he wanted to stay on the field, but Rob Jasper, our referee, saying because he stayed down, he does have to come off for this one play. So Kayvon Rogers will come on in his place. It'll be 3rd down and 4 here. Barton right up the middle, first down and then some, out to the 38-yard line, and that'll move the chains.
And that's all blocking up front. The blocking up front for the Cougars, they set that up perfect. But Kyle Barton, just like on the other side, for Braxton Garman, these are two guys that are used to carrying the ball quite a bit. And when China Spring need to get behind their running game, they make sure that number 4 is the guy that gets them there. So you cannot arm tackle this guy. When you come up, you've got to get him down on the ground, as you see right there. You don't just try and thud him up. You get him on the ground.
Barton taken down for a loss. Eddie Reyes leading the charge in the backfield in a blink, and Kaufman puts him behind the chains. Ben Garcia in on the play as well.
Yeah, a lot of black and gold back there. Eddie Reyes, Will Bowers. Look forward to saying his name a lot. He's a coach's kid, but he is tough as nails up front. They switch up this coverage a lot. They go primarily with a 3-4, but they make sure they keep a bunch of defensive backs back there. And hey, that's another guy, like you said earlier, man. You're going to be saying his name quite a bit.
McCollum completing it to Jackson. Battles this time on the sideline, just shy of the line to gain, so it'll be 3rd and 2. I don't think Battles realized how much space he had. He could have picked up the first down.
Yeah, Battles, hey, like you said, a lot of room.
They're going to go quick here. Handoff. Barton lowers his shoulder. He's got the first down right to the midfield stripe.
And how about this for a name as a quarterback? Cash McCollum.
Cash is a pretty good first name for a quarterback.
Come on, man. You got to be pretty good if your first name is Cash.
Michael Hall in the YouTube comments, a usual viewer here on Friday Night Football, says what's up, says he's out at the Longview Lone Star game tonight. That's another good football game involving a number 1 team across Texas. Handoff here for Barton once again, a pickup of 5.
Can already tell from Kyle Barton. It's really just a patient. With all of the explosiveness that he has, he really does pick his spots.
2nd and 5.
A lot of these guys have been on varsity for a number of snaps, and you can tell, man, they haven't, panicked at all by giving up that early lead. They've been here before, so no, this is a full-quarter game.
2nd down and 5. Whistles at the snap.
False start, number 62 on the offense, 5 yards, 2nd down.
That's Caden Exline, the left guard for China Spring, getting called for the false start. The brother of Tristan Exline. Caden's a junior, Tristan a senior, and then they also had Dawson Exline, who graduated last year, that was part of that state championship team a year ago. 3 Exline brothers, 1 year after the next, Class of 22, 23, and 24. All a part of this China Spring program.
Just say God bless Mrs. Exline.
and their grocery bill.
And their grocery bill. That's a lot of cooking.
2nd down and 10. Quick throw near side. Hafford digs it out of the dirt. Lowers his shoulder and picks up 8 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 2.
He's such an athlete. And I was joking at the open. Which position he plays better. When you have a guy that's, like I said, a dual threat guy, typically they play one position better than the other. Not this kid, man. Trey Hafford is a dog on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And you saw that right there. He dug that ball out of the ground from Cash McCollum and is able to pick up positive yards.
3rd down and 2. McCollum. Play action fake, rolling right side, has a man wide open. It's Exline cutting upfield. Exline with a cutback, and he's into the clear. Exline will score. 42 yards on 3rd and 2. Touchdown, China Spring.
If Tristan Exline had flags on, I don't know if anybody would have touched him. Look at this move right here. Oh, my goodness. Foot in the dirt and cut on a dime. Completely shook a guy out of his spat. That is one for the highlight reel, Mr. Exline. Wow.
Thomas Barr on for the PAT. Blocked. Blocked by Kaufman. I think it was Dallas Chandler that came through and got his hand on it.
With 1:12 left here in the first
and that will keep it 7-6.
7-6.
Kaufman keeps the lead. We'll step aside for a moment, but China Spring with an answer there from Tristan Exline.
Wake up at daybreak to get your local news, weather, and traffic. But hey, it doesn't have to stop here.
No, we're passing the ball to our friends at GMA.
That's right. Your best mornings continue right here on GMA.
With exclusive interviews, all the top breaking news.
And everything you need to know to get going. And hey, nice catch, Robin.
All right.
Local live traffic updates when you need them.
And don't forget about the weather.
Get your day started with Daybreak.
With Daybreak and GMA.
Every morning.
Back on Friday Night Football, the area round of the UIL Playoffs, Kaufman and number 1 China Spring. And the Lions still in front, but just by a point now. Cash McCollum to Tristan Exline on the touchdown pass for 42 yards, but the PAT blocked. So Kaufman maintains the lead. Kickoff up the near sideline will bounce out of bounds. That'll be a penalty against China Spring, and good starting field position here for the Lions.
And Mike, I don't know if that's a prop. The wind caught that ball
out of bounds. We will re-kick 5 yards.
So Kaufman's going to make them re-kick here. A comment here from Charlotte Smith that we appreciate very much, Charlotte. Something that Heckma and I did not realize. We were talking about the Exline brothers and saying God bless his mother for what they've had to just raising 3 football players. Charlotte lets us know the Exline brothers actually lost their mom 2 years ago, so our apologies on that. We did not realize that. Charlotte, thank you for letting us know that, and certainly our thoughts out to the Exline family for that. But still very cool that all 3 of them have been able to play together on this football team over the course of the last few years. And one of them scoring right there just moments ago from 42 yards out as McCollum hit Tristan Exline for the touchdown.
I'll tell you this, you got 3 boys that are making their mother proud, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that last move right there for Tristan Exline, amazing move.
That one's going to go out of bounds again. I wonder if Kaufman will make him kick it a 3rd time here. At the same time, you're kind of playing with fire if you're the Kaufman Lions, letting that ball bounce.
We will re-kick.
We have seen Heckma Harrison this season on our air, kickoffs check up and stay in bounds, and the kicking team run down there and cover it. So, but they are going to make him kick it a 3rd time, this time from the 30-yard line.
Well, here you are in danger zone right now, right? You back this up a little bit more, and you try and check kick it into the middle of the field, and you're kicking from your 25-yard line. You're going to be giving up some favorable field position.
So they'll kick it off from the 30. They're giving Thomas Barr a workout here. That's the young man that hit a 47-yard game-winning field goal into the wind against Stephenville a few weeks back in district play in a game that was at the time a matchup of the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state in 4A-D1. Here comes Juju Prox on the kickoff return. Finally a kickoff inbounds. He gets stood up at the 37 after a nice return. Run back all the way to the 22. Obviously none of that will count. But that does fire up the China Spring sideline quite substantially.
Well, they're going to mark it at the 40-yard line. So
number 27,
that is a favorable
Reed.
field position for the Lions. Juju Prox was trying to get through that second wave, almost had him.
That's interesting that they marked him at the 40. He never got past about the 37.5, maybe 38-yard line. I think with how far he got driven back, the officials may have lost track of exactly what the spot was. And they'll start 1st and 10 at the 40 as a result. Handoff Braxton Garmin. This time bottled up immediately, knifing through to make the stop was J.T. Connor.
And you see J.T. Connor, he's coming down the line of scrimmage automatically. 5'8", 180 pounds is J.T. And boy, you are trying to bring down a Mack truck, and does a good job.
Just about 1,300 of you with us right now on the WFA YouTube channel. Please click the like button, click the subscribe button, as we have brought you a high school football game every week all season long here on Friday Night Football on the WFA YouTube channel. Quick throw near side, complete in the hands of Kyle Von Morrow, and he'll get out to the 48-yard line and set up a much more manageable 3rd down and 2. Jeffrey in the YouTube comments says, are you guys surprised that Braxton Garmin doesn't have any offers? In a word, yes.
What did I ask you? I literally asked
how does
you,
he not?
How does he not have any offer? And sometimes, colleges come late, but this kid is a treat to watch, and there is no way that someone is not going to pick this kid up. You know what I've seen also? Guys go JUCO, and they be even better for it. Maybe that's what happened.
Flag at the snap. It's going to be a false start here on Kaufman, so 3rd and 2 is going to become 3rd and 7.
Number 1 on the offense, 5 yards. Repeat the down.
They catch Kyle Von Morrow jumping. But I think you're absolutely right. At some point here late in the game, especially, what he's doing already in this football game with maybe more eyeballs than are usually on him, he's going to get out there more and more if they're able to spring an upset tonight as they lead here late in the first quarter. Yeah. That would certainly draw some attention to Braxton Garman, because you imagine he would have to be quite impactful tonight if Kaufman's going to pull off a win tonight. Burleson's going to roll out, fires that way, just off target, wide of Kyle Von Morrow, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, Morrow out in the flat. They've gone to the well on this throw a couple of times, but Ty Burleson just a little bit off on that throw. They're trying to catch this defensive backfield with these quick out routes. Just one that they missed.
So 4th down and 7 now. Gallegos on to punt it away. Still 15 seconds left in the quarter, which means he'll get the punt with the wind here right before the change of direction. Blocked. Blocked, and that'll fall dead at the 48-yard line. Coming through to get his hand on it for China Spring was Jack Henry. And a huge play on special teams.
Yeah, he gets his paw up there. If he laid out for it, that's even more of a negative play for the Lions. All it took was a graze, but still the Cougars have some really good field position.
So we've seen 2 block kicks in the opening quarter tonight. The PAT from China Spring blocked by Dallas Chandler. Now the blocked punt by Jack Henry, and it's 1st and 10. Here's the handoff. Hafford running right side, leaps his way. Flag on the play. Some extracurriculars afterward as well, away from the football. That didn't draw a flag. The flag, I think, was within the scope of the play, but now a player down here for the Kaufman Lions. We haven't been able to pick up a number just yet, as the Kaufman player is surrounded by Chris Carana and Jenny Scruggs, their athletic training staff. Give you another look at the play, see if we can see what happened here. Yeah, on the right side of your frame, you could see the Lions player grabbing at his leg.
There's no foul for the below block. He was in the tackle box. 2nd down.
But the focus still on the injured Kaufman Lion. I'm wondering, is it Kyle Von Morrow? I thought that it looked like number 1 at one point that was down on the field. But honestly, poor job by me to even bother guessing at that. I don't want to speculate and be wrong on that, so let me try and pull that back momentarily. It's hard to see with how surrounded he is. One more look at the play, and maybe you can see it's right there in the middle of the frame, right behind Trey Hafford is the player that kind of gets rolled up on.
Yeah, and he has, look at that. Boy, that camera angle, you could tell that leg is planted. I hope he's okay.
That was the situation that did draw the flag, but then they picked up because the defender was in the tackle box. Blocking low like that is legal within that space.
But if that is Morrow, that is a big loss.
He's a key piece for them offensively and defensively. They're starting strong safety as well as one of their starting wide receivers.
Oh, gosh, that is bad. You could tell he dove right into.
And grabbed at that left knee immediately.
Man. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show our support to Kyle Von Morrow.
It is indeed Kyle Von Morrow, number 1. The junior starting strong safety and wide receiver for the Kaufman Lions. That is a tough blow for this football team because he is so impactful for them offensively and defensively. And they're not having him put any weight on that left foot, on that left leg.
That's going to be a tremendous loss for the Lions. It's a big part of what they do offensively, but like you said, also defensively. So hopefully he is okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that is the end of the opening period. We'll step aside for a moment. China Spring football, 2nd down and 6 when we return on Friday Night Football.
For over 125 years.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Back on Friday Night Football, start of quarter number 2. 7-6 our score in favor of the Kaufman Lions, thanks to a 6-yard Dallas Chandler touchdown run. Cash McCollum to Tristan Exline, a 42-yard touchdown pass, answering for the Cougars. And right back to it goes Trey Hafford. What a play that was in space, lowering his shoulder and picking up extra yardage. It's going to be first down for China Spring in the red zone.
And you've seen so many times where Trey will run a stick route, but he goes right to the slant. That's easy pickings for him.
Dallas Chandler.
And it's what he does after the catch, really, that makes him so special. As he'll take it to the house on you, and looks like the Cougars has his offense clicking on all cylinders.
1st and 10 at the 16. McCollum to the air once again, looking over the middle, has a man open back of the end zone right through the hands of Tristan Exline and incomplete.
Tristan Exline, a guy that doesn't drop much. Ball a little high from Cash McCollum. Still a good ball.
McCollum, the move in from Wimberley, was the District 14 4A Division II Newcomer of the Year last year as a sophomore at Wimberley. Moved here to China Spring. His father's the offensive line coach here for the Cougars, and he has big shoes to fill, replacing Mr. Texas football from last year, Major Bowden, who led this program to their first state title since 1978. He's going to run the option here. Cuts up field. McCollum to the end zone. Touchdown. 16 yards on the run for McCollum, and China Spring with their first lead of the night.
And Cash McCollum on the old school option route. Everyone is expecting him to pitch that out to Kyle Barton. Not so fast, says Cash. So I'm going to take this to the house myself. And look at that, China Springs up in the second quarter.
Extra point this time up and through. 13-7. China Spring with the lead. 37 seconds into quarter number 2 as Cash McCollum has his second touchdown of the night to put the Cougars in front.
Sometimes parties can tend to go on slightly longer than planned. For Izzy, that's not a problem at all, since she can now catch the 4, 5, 6, or even 10 p.m. newscasts after they air on the new WFAA+. Party on, kids. Are you a consummate multitasker like Chris Lawrence? Cooking, well, attempting. Dinner for the family while also craving a dose of news? Now you can chop and cook while still tuning in to any live newscast on the new WFAA+.
China Spring with the lead, 13-7 here on Friday Night Football, the area round of the UIL playoffs. The Kaufman Lions started off strong in this football game, got a 3-and-out from China Spring, drove down the field and scored. Dallas Chandler capping the drive to give him a 7-0 lead. But back has come China Spring, back-to-back touchdowns, and they lead it 13-7. Kickoff through the end zone. Give you a look at China Spring's path through the state playoffs a year ago, and look at the murderer's row they had to go through last year. They beat the #1 team in the state, Carthage, 27-17. #4, West Orange Stark, 31-14. #7, Cuero, 34-9. #2, Gilmer, 31-7. 4 of the top 7 teams in the state in the final 4 rounds of the playoffs to win a championship. It doesn't get harder than that. Really, really impressive run for them last year, Heckma.
And that's why these guys are cool hand Luke. When they come in here, they don't get rattled. They've gone through, like you said, that murderer's row of all of those ranked opponents to a state title.
Garmin with the handoff here on 1st and 10. Nice cut up field. He'll have a pickup of 7 on the first play of the series here for the Kaufman Lions.
Yeah, I really just love Braxton Garmin. One of my favorites. He's a really patient, but he's one of those guys that converts speed to power very easily. He can put his head down and just run you over if he wants to. You know, so he's giving you a courtesy if he dances around you.
Second down and 3. Garmin to the left here of Ty Burleson. Motion man out of the formation. Handoff Garmin coming off left guard. Lowers his shoulder. He'll have enough for the first down. A pickup of 5.
And right now the Kaufman Lions have to pick up the pace. They've got to pick up the pace. They feel, and you can tell a little bit on that run from Cash McCollum. They were waiting. Okay, and this is something that this defense absolutely cannot do. These guys have got to stay aggressive versus this Cougars offense. You know, you can't wait on a guy to make the tackle. It's got to be 11 hats to the ball and force Cash McCollum to do something. I'm not saying that they don't have a hat on a hat or guys blocking them, but they've got to fight through that.
Big hole here for Braxton Garmin up the near sideline. Across midfield and another first down into China Spring territory.
This guy's just,
Braxton Garmin
look at this man, just amazing.
Forced out of bounds by
so strong.
Jason
and he's saying to himself, boy, if I had stayed in bounds, I hit my head on the goalpost. See him tugging at his hamstring a little bit there. Hopefully he's okay.
I talked with him briefly before kickoff. He said he understands there's a lot on his shoulders tonight. He knows just how big a game he's got to have if the Lions are going to pull the upset. In talking with Trey Hafford before the game, he said, hey, their running back, that's who we know we need to deal with. He's in there at Wildcat, hands it off here, and some hesitation in the backfield, and taken down very quickly is Jonathan Wren, the sophomore. Jalen Trotter in the backfield in a blink.
Yeah, Trotter reads that perfectly, and maybe that's one where you want to see Braxton Garmin just hit that up the middle. The Lions can't afford to take these negative plays.
The Kaufman offense looking to the far side. Offensive coordinator Craig Barker in his 16th year working with Coach Burleson. Handoff Garmin into the pile, but not much more than about 3. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
He's just running that right into the teeth of the Cougars defense. And you can tell big number 55, Greg Salazar, their leader on defense. Coach Beatty talked about him and said, if things are going awry, we know number 55 will get us back right. How many snaps was it that he said that Salazar, something crazy.
He said it's his 42nd varsity game. Over the middle, knocked away. The intended target was Mason Seabolt, but the defense there from Tristan Exline, and it's 4th down.
They're going to call this a bang-bang play, but it really looked like he got there a little early. But still, that's a great stance by China Spring, forcing the punt.
And Jeremy Burleson's going to elect to play field position here and punt it away. Gallegos on to punt it, this time into the wind. And Kaufman will hope to pin the Cougars deep. Spiraling kick up the near side, bounces out of bounds right at the 19-yard line. And that's where China Spring will get back to work. First and 10 at their own 19-yard line, now leading 13-7, Heckman. If you're Kaufman, you understand right now your defense needs to come out and make some plays because you can't afford to give up another touchdown drive here to the Cougars.
No, you're in the danger zone area for China Springs. This is how they get rolling. They get you down going into half, and they don't turn back. And so I started to see some good things start to happen for them offensively on that Braxton Garmin run. But once they went to that Wildcat and had the negative play, I think everything kind of imploded from there. But this possession right now defensively is very important for the Lions. They
started off very well here. Eddie Reyes in the backfield making the stop. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I tell you what, big Eddie Reyes, him and number 73, Landon McMillan. Well, if you put these two guys in some mud, it would be this would be sumo wrestling between these guys right now, man. This is something to see. If you're somebody that loves trench warfare, you're seeing it right there between Eddie Reyes and Landon McMillan.
8 minutes to play here, second quarter. McCollum looking to the air, rolling out, looking deep, has a man behind the defense. Missed his target by a good bit there, overshooting Cameron Campos, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Look at the blocks out. Boy, look, this is a block on the other, number 5. Tristan Exline just uproots his guy and plants him on his back plate. Man, that's tough blocking up front for the Cougars.
Now 3rd and 10, though, here for China Spring. An opportunity here for Kaufman to get off the field defensively. 4 wides, 3 to the top of the formation here for McCallum. He'll roll that way. Flushed forward. Thought about running. Now he does try and take off and run for it and will not get anywhere. Undercut right at the line of scrimmage by Caleb Lewis, and it's 4th down.
Well, that's good. That's a good read from Caleb Lewis because he's really in a situation where he doesn't want to bite too fast. Look at it. He has Trey Halford out there to the other side, so that's a great read and tackle.
Caleb Lewis, all 5'8" of them, but breaking down and making the tackle on 6'3", 210-pound Cash McCollum and forcing the punt here from Tristan Exline. Whistles at the snap here. Timeout, Kaufman.
Timeout, Kaufman. Their second timeout.
So as Kaufman prepares to take the football back here, give you a look at what is in front of Braxton Garmin tonight, and he certainly hopes more than just tonight. 210 yards shy of the all-time single-season rushing record at Kaufman High School. Trey Collier, who went on to play at Tulsa, played quarterback at Kaufman and ran for 1,789 yards back in 2017. Garmin needs 210 to top that, but look at the list of rushing records that Garmin already holds at Kaufman. Career yards, career touchdowns, multiple season and game and career records. He has had a fantastic season, and this kind of goes back to the point we were making earlier. How does this kid not have a Division I offer? It's a bit puzzling because he certainly looks the part from a physical perspective, from his speed perspective, from his shiftiness in the backfield. He can do a lot of things. It's surprising that he hasn't gotten. That's a high snap there to X-line, but he chases it down. It's a little surprising that Garmin doesn't have more. On the bounce here, it's Wren. Undercut immediately at the 34-yard line. A nice job by X-Line to kind of flip the field there because China Spring was pinned back deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and going back to the point that you're making about Braxton Garmin, man, he is just a phenomenal young man. When you talk to these coaches and they just beam and glow about certain young men, Coach Burleson, he talked about him being a workout warrior, guy he has to run out of the facilities, but also his leadership ability on and off the field. I love that about him. And I tell you what, whichever college offers this kid, they are going to get a tremendous athlete.
A little wiggle right there at the line of scrimmage to get 4 on the first play of the series. Yeah, Coach Burleson said if the weight room door was open, he was there, period.
And you know, it reminds me of a kid, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. from Duncanville.
Yeah.
His senior year, he did not have an offer at all. And everyone is asking, how does Ennis Rakestraw not have an offer?
I know how this story ends.
Right? This kid comes in, he has the game of a lifetime versus Jackson Smith and Jigba.
As another player here from Kaufman is down. We'll double check the number here, but go ahead and continue with your story as we check the status here. It looks like this may just be working out a cramp or a slightly rolled ankle. But go ahead with your story about Ennis Rakestraw.
Yeah, Ennis Rakestraw, he has the game of a lifetime versus Jackson Smith and Jigba in a playoff game. And the next thing you know, out behind door number 1 comes the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah.
And he is a Missouri Tiger and having himself quite a career. Started as a freshman and is a 2-year letterman for the Missouri Tigers. So things happen.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to stay faithful. And, you know, good things will happen, especially for good kids. And so I expect, you know, someone to offer Braxton Garman because he is like that.
Eric Espinoza, the right tackle, was the player down for Kaufman. You saw he walked off under his own power. We'll see if he's able to make his way back on the football field. They run that way, and this time Garman undercut after maybe a gain of a yard. Jace Garrett there to finish him off.
You know, I've been watching Braxton Garman run. On that last long run, I kind of saw him pull at his right leg a little bit. So I'm hoping that he's okay. Obviously, if it was you know, a lot, or just maybe a tweak, he wouldn't be in there if you've ever had a hamstring injury at all.
3rd down and 4. Approaching the midway point here of quarter number 2. Number 1 China Spring with the 13-7 lead. Wildcat quarterback again here for Garman, running right side, lowering his shoulder, will not get anywhere. Strung out really nicely, and Jalen Trotter finished the job.
And I'll tell you what, Jalen Trotter is getting through all of the traffic and getting tackles. 5'6".
I know.
I keep looking at this, and I'm is he 5'6"?
We asked Coach Beatty earlier this week, and he said he is absolutely 5'6". Said he started for them last year at nose tackle at 5'6" and 175 pounds. This year they decided to move him out to defensive end. Okay. I think that Jeremy Burleson may be considering going for it here. Calls timeout, his second used timeout here in the second half. In fact, that may be his 3rd and final timeout.
Kaufman as their 3rd and final timeout.
It is indeed. So he calls timeout here prior to 4th down and 3 at their own 40.5-yard line.
And we want to encourage you to make your way online.
It's an interesting decision right now, Mike.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think for Coach Burleson, he's got to go back and just think about the way that his defense has been playing. His defense hadn't let him down.
Yeah.
Obviously, other than that first quarter and beginning of the second score, this is defense that's been holding up, and you can tell Coach Burleson runs his punt team out there, decides to continue to play field position.
They will be punting into the wind, which I imagine was at least a factor in the decision. But Andres Gallegos, the young man they call Crazy Legs, that so many folks in the Kaufman community are such big fans of, will come out there to punt it away. 1,700 of you with us right now on the WFA YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys being with us tonight here on Friday Night Football. High snap, Gallegos has it down. He had his last punt blocked. This time gets it off cleanly, bounces up the far sideline, and will check up right at the 30-yard line, and is down there by Caleb Lewis.
Well, that's a dangerous kick because it looked as though right there at the end, look at number 11, that bounces off his foot.
Do you think so?
Yes.
The 30-yard line.
See if we can look at that one more time.
Cage McLeod, no, it hits the ground right. That is close. Man. How about that?
Cage McLeod living dangerously right there.
But that's called living right. That's called living right. Tell you, his coach is talking to him about that. You better watch that kick coming off of his foot.
So back comes this China Spring offense. Again, please let us know in the YouTube comments where you're tuning in from tonight. If you're a China Spring fan, tuning in from the Waco area. If you're a Kaufman fan, tuning in from Kaufman County. Handoff here for Kyle Barton running left side. Breaks a couple tackles. Stumbles his way across the 40-yard line. The pickup of 14 on the first play of the series here for China Spring.
And look at Kyle Barton. We're showing a lot of love on the other side for Braxton Garman. Got to give more love to this guy and the balance that he has. Going down, sticks his hand in the ground, or just keeps his balance and still able to pick up a first down and move the sticks. He is awesome. It's Kyle Barton. We don't get a chance to see China Springs a lot, man. We see him once they get to AT&T. Really a privilege to be able to see these guys in the second round.
1st and 10, coming near side. It's Barton once again. Gears down to the sideline and picks up about 5 more.
Pitch goes to Barton.
How about this? Look at the blocking on this side. In order to make the varsity for China Spring, you got to block. Okay? That must be a prerequisite to get on the field, is blocking.
Pickup of 4 officially on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. I saw some comments in the YouTube feed talking about the halftime show from each team's respective band. We will bring you that in full here in 4 minutes and 52 seconds worth of game time. Barton met in the hole this time. A good run fit there from Kaufman. Isaiah Leha meeting him in the hole.
3rd down and 5.
And that's Jordan Alls as well, number 22. This entire Lion defense coming up to stop the run. This is a big 3rd down for the Lions with 4:30 before the half. They've got to get a hold. We talk about how big that last possession was. This is one where you don't want to give up points going in at halftime.
It will be Kaufman ball to start the second half. McCollum to the air on 3rd and 5. Now he's going to take off and run for it. Coming near side, met at the sticks, lunges forward. It's going to depend on the spot. He's very close. He will have enough for the first down.
And I can tell right now, Cash McCollum, he is a load, man. 6'3", 210, hard to bring down. Long strider. But he is dragging guys with him to pick up that first down.
Cash McCollum making a play with his legs. 25 passing touchdowns on the year, 3 more on the ground. He's done a really nice job filling enormous shoes of Major Bowden. Mr. Texas football a year ago, leading China Spring to a 16-0 season and their first state championship since 1978. Cash McCollum has said, no problem, I got it. Handoff here for Barton, nowhere to go, maybe a gain of a yard. I beg your pardon, it was X-line this time on the carry.
X-line on the carry.
Yeah, X-line working up front, and again, Eddie Reyes, who's been a big part of all the success that the Lions are having in the interior. It's when they get out on the edge, they're really doing a good job of capturing the edge and turning these ends back inside. For the Lions, their secondary's got to come up and close those gaps. They're missing Morrow, who's gone out with a knee injury, hadn't come back in, but he is definitely one of their playmakers.
McCollum to keeping himself off the fake. He's got just enough for the, well, they're going to mark him maybe just a hair shy of the first down.
And it looked like he had the first down.
Yeah.
No, they're going to move this out. Looks like they're going to go ahead and give him the first down.
They do give it to him, okay.
Cougar, first down.
Cash McCollum making plays with his legs tonight. He has shown the ability to do that over the course of the season, but in particular on this drive, doing a real nice job of picking up first downs for this Cougars offense.
Just as the impact that Kyle Barton has. You have to keep your eyes on where number 4 is.
3 wides to the top of the formation, but they will hand it off here for Barton in the middle, and he's got nowhere to go. No gain on the play. This defensive front from Kaufman has really been up to the task, Ekma Harrison, here early on in this football game.
No, they really have. I think interior they've done a good job. It's just that when they put them in the read option, that's where they're having a bit of problems with recognizing who has the ball. We saw a minute ago a great read on the outside by Caleb Lewis when he got the stop and forced the punt. Right now, 1:56 and time becoming very important for China Spring. As you know, they want to try and get this thing into the end zone before the half.
They do have 3 timeouts remaining. McCollum to keep it himself again. This time he runs right into Eddie Reyes, driven back, no gain. 3rd down and 10.
Big Eddie.
Big Eddie Reyes.
Big Eddie Reyes. They heard me, didn't they?
According to the PA man as well.
Big Eddie, boy. Eddie he's standing guys up.
And you saw at the tail end of the play there as well, Isaac Leha reaching in and trying to strip the football loose. Kaufman knows they're going to need to get a bounce or two if they're going to be able to pull the upset tonight. They're trying to create those bounces as best they can.
See if they go to the air.
3rd and 10. McCollum, delay handoff here, and look at this play design. Really, honestly, a great job by Kaufman to keep that from going for a 1st down. Well read on the backside by Julian Prox, and it's going to be 4th down and 3.
Look at the size of that hole. If Julian Prox isn't there to get that tackle, he walks into the end zone.
57 seconds left here in the half. Timeout, China Spring, and an opportunity here for Tyler Beatty and his offense to talk things over a little bit about whether or not they want to go for this here or run out the field goal unit with Thomas Barr and try and add to their lead.
Now, we saw Thomas Barr kicking before the game. I think we all believe that he could be true from this limb. Are we in agreement here?
Oh, yes. No,
Okay.
they are in his range. Right now it would be a 47-yarder. That was the distance he kicked it from to win against Stephenville earlier this year, and that was into the wind. Here, moving left to right from our vantage point, he'd be kicking with a strong wind, absolutely within range for Thomas Barr. He's not on the field, though. They will keep the offense out there. Cash McCollum, Kyle Barton, Tristan Exline, Trey Hafford all together in the backfield, ready to go for it here on 4th and 3 with 57 seconds left here in the half. Handoff Barton. Stopped in the backfield initially and held up. Kaufman with a 4th down stop defensively. A huge play for the Lions.
Barton on the carry is brought down by a private.
What's another word for huge? We got to use that because they come out in the triple option formation. You recognize that they're going to run it, but the Lions are all in their lanes and not allowing that 1st down. That is a great job by the Kaufman Lions standing up as a defense and turning and getting that turnover on downs.
Devin Morrell was the first one there, the outside linebacker. He was the first one to make the stop, and his teammates came with quite quickly afterward a ginormous 4th down stop for the Kaufman Lions. Now on 1st down, flags on the play. That's going to be illegal motion. They had 2 guys in motion. Nobody came set. That's going to be a flag every time.
First thing I thought, I was like, that's illegal.
You can do that in Arena League football.
Right.
Rob Jasper says that's not allowed.
Yeah.
And it's 1st and 15.
That's illegal.
Honestly, if you're Jeremy Burleson right now, I know that China Spring does have 2 timeouts remaining, so you can't necessarily just run the clock out here, but getting that 4th down stop, I got to imagine you're content to go into halftime knowing you're going to get the ball to start the second half down 13-7 and just leave it at that.
Oh, my gosh.
Garmin with a big stiff arm there, but then snowed under by the entire China Spring defense after a gain of 3.
Oh, and Garmin is down. Man.
Garmin on the carry.
Taking another look at how this play
brings up
came to an end.
12.
He had bodies underneath him. If there's one thing that the Kaufman Lions cannot afford, it is number 11 being hurt. You mentioned it earlier that he's looked at times today like he was battling a little bit of a hamstring. Now he's going to gingerly jog his way off. It looks like he's probably going to be okay enough to remain in the football game, but we will certainly keep an eye on that.
Kaufman's out of timeouts. It'll be a 10-second runoff. 10-second runoff.
Kaufman has no problem with a 10-second runoff right now. They just want to get to the locker room and give Braxton Garmin 28 minutes to limber up and be ready for the second half. Again, China Spring does have 2 timeouts remaining if they elect to use them. So Kaufman can't exactly just kneel on the football. Handoff here for Dallas Chandler on jet motion. Cuts upfield. taken down after a gain of about 2. I beg your pardon, about 4.
Dallas
It'll
Tanner
be
on the carry.
3rd down and 8, and that will be
And
the final play of the
end
opening
of the first
half.
We would like to take this
Heckma
moment
Harrison
to
for the
thank
Kaufman Lions. That's about as good as you could have asked that first half to go. They are very much in this football game against the #1 team in the state and the reigning champions out of 4AD2, China Spring.
Yeah, and you know what? They have dodged some bullets also, Mike. There have been several instances where it looked like China Spring was going to put their foot on the pedal and pull away in this game. And defensively, these guys have stood up. Number 58, Eddie Reyes, give him all the Gatorade he wants, okay? Because he is the reason that you're in this game, because he has been the plug in the middle that hadn't allowed this running game from Kyle Barton to get off. I mean, right now, Cash McCollum in the running game has been the most positive thing that's been happening for him. Haven't seen them go to the air that much. Other than Tristan Exline in that run, we hadn't seen anything from their other playmakers in Trey Harford, and we know what type of playmaker he is. It's just one of those things right now. The Kaufman Lions have to make the adjustments on offense. They've got to find a way to get some better plays. They've got to find a way to make something positive happen for them on offense, because that's been the difference. Defensively, they've had some good things happen, but offensively, it just seems like they're a little stuck in the mud right now.
It is halftime here on Friday Night Football, which means it is time for the show from both teams' respective bands. First up, the Kaufman Lion Band under the direction of Gerardo Loya. On the field now, we hope you enjoy the show from them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kaufman High School proudly presents the award-winning Lionettes. The team is under the direction of Miss Bryn Scott. The lovely Lionettes will be performing their traditional entrance routine to the KHS fight song. The Lionette social officers are Shelby Patterson, Savannah Whittington. The Lionette line instructors are Allison Mastingale, Sarah Barker, Katie Jordan, and Antonia Cipriano. The Lionettes of the week are our wonderful managers. Thank you for all of your love and support. And now, your 2022-2023 officers are Junior Lieutenant Jaden Shepard, Senior Lieutenant Kaylin Mitchell, First Lieutenant Ada Martinez, and our head captain, Miss Danielle Morrell. The Lionettes will be performing a streamer routine to I Feel Good by James Brown. Tonight's performance is dedicated to Mr. Clemens. Thank you for supporting the Lionettes and being with us every step of the way.
Our thanks to the Kaufman Lion Band for a fantastic halftime show. Next up, the China Spring Cougar Band under the direction of Mark Nicholson. We hope you enjoy the show. Second half begins in a little under 14 minutes time.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are proud to introduce the China Spring High School Electric Blues Dance Team. The dance team is under the direction of Assistant Director Angela Uliberry and Director Melena Johnson. We would like to recognize our officers, Captain Emily Dortry and First Lieutenant Lily Kane, Lieutenant Cadence Lyles, Lieutenant Leah Uliberry. Social officers are Callista Lloyd and Sophia Salduya. This week's Blue of the Week is Lily Kane. Tonight the Blues will be performing a pom routine with the China Spring Marching Band. Good luck, ladies.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment from China Spring High School, the award-winning Cougar Marching Band. The Cougar Marching Band continues celebrating their strong tradition of excellence with 13 state marching appearances, 7 state marching contest finalist finishes, 32 years of consecutive UIL sweepstakes awards, and most recently being named the 5th best 4A band in the state of Texas. This is now the highest placement China Spring has ever received in the Class 4A State Marching Band Championship. There are so many good students in our band program, and each week we like to honor some select groups and students for their hard work. Tonight, we would like to honor our roadies and chaperones as our section of the week. These are the unsung heroes of the Cougar Band. Whether it is taking roll on a bus, handing out food, or loading equipment, this group of adult volunteers is always there to serve the Cougar Band. Our freshman of the week is a student who, although they're not new anymore, they've worked hard to distinguish themselves amongst their class. This week's freshman of the week is Caden Petty. Congratulations, Caden. As we move into the playoffs, we begin to adapt our halftime performance to ensure our Cougar Marching Band can continue to perform as well as share these wonderful students in some amazing activities that begin their season. We want to share with you some of our favorite tunes. Here's a Stan Tune favorite, Word Up. This week, we would like to celebrate Martin Davenport as our upperclassman of the week. Martin is a 3-year all-state trombonist and the principal trombone player in our wind ensemble. Congratulations, Martin. We would also like to celebrate Martin, Josh Barnett, and Luke Larson for being named to the ATSSB All-State Jazz Band. Congratulations, gentlemen. And now the band will play another Stan favorite, Frankenstein. The Cougar Band is under the direction of Mark Nicholson, Rachel Berg, Tammy Bott, Ian Mitchell, Josh Reedy, and Sam Silver. We would like to thank our boosters for a lot of the support they give us day in and day out. You make our band better every day. We would also like to thank all of our administration for the continued support of the Cougar Band program. A special thank you to our sponsors, Bush's Chicken of China Spring, Bentwood Realty, Madden Manufacturing, Shipley's Donut, Royceford Realty Team, and Douglas Nissan of Waco. Your support makes some of the magic happen for these students as we teach important lessons and create memories.
Our thanks to the bands from both these two programs, filling up a fantastic halftime show here at Corsicana's Community National Bank and Trust Stadium at Tiger Field. Halftime here on Friday Night Football, 13-7, the lead for China Spring. When we come back, halftime stats, and we'll tee up the second half for you right after this on Friday Night Football.
We begin with breaking news in Dallas.
You need a team you can trust.
Those are some of the questions that we want answered.
Regulators have been warned over and over again.
Relevant.
I want to give you a better picture of what's happening here, both on the ground and live from HD Chopper 8.
Looking out for you.
We have a serious situation right now that's developing across North Texas.
Bold reporting, dynamic coverage, original content. We are WFAA.
To the end zone for South Oak Cliff. Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Back on Friday Night Football, second half just about ready to get underway between China Spring, the #1 team in the state in 4A Division I, and the Kaufman Lions, 8-3 on the year, and at one point this year ranked in the state. 13-7, the lead in favor of China Spring. Mike Leslie and Heckma Harrison back with you here in the broadcast booth. Heckma, an impressive first half from both of these two teams in their own respective ways, but I feel like if you're Jeremy Burleson, the head coach from Kaufman, that went about as well as you could have hoped it would, and they're very much in position here in this football game still.
No, it really is, and obviously there were some things that points in the game where his defense had to bail him out.
Yeah.
And you know, they had some special teams miscues, but all things being considered equal, yeah, Coach Burleson, just some minor adjustments there at halftime, but he's got to be feeling good about where he is against the #1 team.
Meanwhile, for China Spring, an impressive first half from their offense. 2 back-to-back drives that were really crisp. Cash McCollum playing some good football, both passing and rushing the football. Heckma, he was impressive in this first half, as was their trio of skill position players that really made plays for them in different spots throughout the first half.
Yeah, I mean, and I think really what they tried to do was get Kyle Barton going as well, but man, there were just some things that were happening in the middle that stopped them from doing that, and Kyle Reyes on the other side was, Eddie Reyes was a part of that, but you know, they've got to get behind Barton. They tried to establish the running game. Obviously, they didn't have the success that they wanted, but Cash McCollum, man, he has been big time for them in the running game. So, look, this second half is really just flip a coin. I think for the Kaufman Lions, they've got to continue to try and get behind this offense. Their defense has got to stay steady, but China Spring is still like they are waiting to erupt here, and I think at any moment, I think we both expect for them to get back to their scoring ways.
Give you a look at the stats from the first half of this football game. Relatively even, 7 first half first downs for the Kaufman Lions, 8 first downs in the first half for China Spring. China Spring with about 70 more total yards. No surprise to see the majority of Kaufman's yardage coming on the ground. Relatively clean game, neither team taking too many penalties, and no turnovers yet for either of these two football teams. And that leads to what is a relatively even score line as well, 13-7 in favor of China Spring here as we get ready to start the second half.
Yeah, very clean. And the rushing attack right now for the Kaufman Lions have to reestablish that, get Braxton Garman back going. You started to see that slow down there to begin the second quarter, but they've got to continue to stick the ball into the belly of number 11. Saw him go down and late in the second. Hopefully he's okay because they're going to need him.
Let us know on the WFA YouTube channel. You see the poll. 435 of you have weighed in with your vote as far as who you're cheering for tonight. 54% of you have voted for China Spring. 46% voting for Kaufman tonight. It will be Kaufman football to start the second half.
Thomas Barr.
And Mike, it's China Spring.
And Wren.
Yes, indeed.
China Spring. I'm going to get this right, all right? Because it's just one of those things, naturally, you want to put an S on the end of that, right? It's not Sulphur Springs. It's China Spring. I'm going to get it right. I'll tell you what.
Cougars kick it away, fielded at the 14-yard line by Juju Prox, trying to get to the far side, taken down at the 20-yard line, still on his feet. He thinks he's still going. The officials have blown it dead. I'm not sure he ever actually went down. I'll be curious to see on the replay whether or not the knee went down, but the officials do indeed blow this play
Prox
dead.
On the return, ruled down at the 20-yard line. First down for the Lions.
Nope.
It didn't go down.
Wow. Julian Prox never went to a knee.
Oh, man.
Jane Harville on the YouTube comment feed says, thank you for China Spring, singular.
Let me tell you something. Kyle Yeoman's my good buddy. We both work at the Dallas Cowboys. His mother, Melissa Yeomans, graduated from China Spring.
There you go.
I absolutely know how to pronounce the name. So special shout out to Mrs. Yeoman.
And to Kyle as well.
Yeah,
4-yard carry here on the first play of the second half for Braxton Garman.
Up the middle.
Garman had himself a nice first half. That was one of the question marks, Heckma Harrison, at halftime, was what is the health status of Garman, who had 15 carries for 85 yards in that opening half for the Kaufman Lions. Good to see him on the field and carrying the football on the first play from scrimmage for Kaufman.
Yeah, he's a big part of what they do. They're going to have to try and extend and stretch this team as that's
it's going to be a false start against Kaufman.
Man, you just see everybody stop all at once.
False start, offense, number 8, 5 yards. Second down.
Everyone stopped all at once. But, yes, they're going to have to find a way to get some more things going. Braxton Garman was running off some of those big yardage runs, like 10, 15 yards. That slowed down here towards the second quarter.
Yeah.
You saw him just getting those dink and dunk runs, 3 yards here, 4 yards here. When he opened up this game with, 10, 15-yard runs.
He'll carry here, breaks a tackle, gets into the second level, lowers his shoulder, give him 7, maybe 8 on that carry to earn back the penalty yardage and then some.
Braxton Garman running hard.
That's just
brought down by
that's
Jace
really
Garrett.
a low to try and bring
It's
down.
third down and 4.
Jace Garrett, the punishee on that run.
He's on the receiving end. That's a 200-pound running back that is going to punish you.
It'll be 3rd and 4 here after the 8-yard carry by Braxton Garman. Kaufman racing to the line of scrimmage here. Down to 5 on the play clock. Motion man. Nearly a disaster there in the backfield. Somehow Garman ended up with it, but he will not get much past the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down.
Drives up the middle, but is stopped short by
And you see this defense standing up there, getting all kinds of penetration. And there's that guy, big Jalen Trotter. A man in the middle, built like a tree stump, boy. He is not going to allow you to get around him. And he's just fine number 44 around the ball at all times.
4th down and 3, and Kaufman will punt it away. Gallegos deep to punt it. Trey Hafford deep to receive. Line drive punt. Bounces up the middle of the field, and Hafford will wisely let it continue to roll down to the 24-yard line. Another line drive punt there from Gallegos. He got away with this one.
Yes, he did.
Kick rolls all the way to the 23-yard line.
And that's really that's
10
intelligence right there from Trey Harford. Not trying to pick that ball up and make something happen. How many times have we seen a guy try to do something athletic, ends up losing the ball and causing a fumble? I think last week we saw something like that, and that's a good job of just situational awareness by number 8.
Tracy Knight says she's watching from Lake Whitney tonight, says go China Spring. Quick run near side here for Barton. Nice move to get the outside edge. Dallas Chandler rips him down from behind, but not before a pickup of 9, maybe 10 on the first play of the set here for China Spring.
And that's all Kyle Barton. He anticipated an inside move, and then he bounces it back outside once he sees Dallas Chandler commit. Well, a good job and another run that moves the chains for China Spring.
Tyler Beatty's club in the area round of the playoffs. They hope that this is merely just step 2 on their march to AT&T Stadium. 4A D2 champs a year ago. This year moving up to 4A D1, and thanks to kids like Kyle Barton, 10-1 on the year. Their only loss came to Parish Episcopal earlier this year, the best private school team in the state. Other than that, they have been perfect all season long, including a 38-36 win over Stephenville in district play back in October.
And everyone, it was a collective gasp when Parish Episcopal beat China Spring also.
Cash McCollum's got a sense of humor. That was kind of cool. Look at this again. Kaufman jumped offside. That's Corbin Prestridge. He figured, hey, I came off sides, I might as well keep coming. And Cash McCollum started dancing with him. You don't see that very often.
No, that's pretty good.
It was 2nd and 4, so that's a free first down now for China Spring.
Yeah, that's it. You can have a sense of humor when you know that you just picked up a first down. So. Oh, my goodness.
May Perry says watching from Denton, Texas tonight, says go Cougars. Tina Horton says watching from the sofa. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. 1st and 10, handoff here for Barton. Strung out near side, lowers his shoulder, and that'll get him back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a pickup of a half a yard, but a nice job by this Kaufman defense to run him to the sideline, Heckman.
And Dallas Chandler, he's coming in, and he's tracking this all the way. And that's tough impact right there. But also, you got to credit these guys for not blocking in the back. That could have easily been a block in the back. We saw one of those in the first half that cost them. China Spring, they learned from their initial mistakes. Don't make the same one. That's when you know you have a really well-coached team, when they don't make the same mistake over and over again.
It'll be 2nd down and 9. Play action fake here for McCollum. Looking deep up the seam. Double coverage. Knocked away, and a flag flies. I'm not sure who the flag's going to be on. You can see the reaction there from Trey Hafford. They do say it's going to go against White. You can see the official.
Number 9 on the defense. 15 yards to the previous spot. First down.
They call it on Dallas Chandler. If we can get another look at that, do we have a good replay angle of that, Clay Marshall, our director? One more look at this one. There were 2 defenders back there for Kaufman. There was no need, Heckman, to interfere. They called it on Chandler. I think they probably intended to call it on 5, Caleb Lewis, not 9. But it looked like it was just kind of 2 guys hand fighting going up for the football, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a little touchy for a call, but we see this happen at every level. When there's a ball that's a little underthrown, and it not by much, but it looked like Hafford had to come back for the ball a little bit, and they just always give the benefit to the offense. I didn't see much there from Caleb Lewis, and I definitely didn't see a lot from Dallas Chandler, but nonetheless, you give up another first down and 15 yards to change to flip field position.
2nd and 9.
Evan Hafford, the brother of Trey Hafford, in our YouTube comments says, gotta hold my brother to make him not catch the football. We appreciate you tuning in, Evan. That's very cool. 2nd down and 9 now. After the short run there from Barton, McCollum rolling right, has some running room, decides to take off and try and make something of it, undercut after a pickup of about 3.
McCollum on the quarterback.
Yeah, he's also this is a dual threat. We talked a lot about him and his arm, because he definitely has the arm talent, but also tremendous on the ground game. Does he have Will Bowers draped all over him? It's a big third down right now for the Kaufman Lions.
Ball right at the 35-yard stripe. From here, it would be a 52-yard field goal attempt into the wind. As big as Thomas Barr's leg is, that feels like it might be too big an ask. This may be 4-down territory here for China Spring. Quick throw far side for McCollum. No need for 4 downs. They've got the first down and then some. Up the sideline. Good cut inside the 5 for the touchdown. Tristan Exline going 35 yards on 3rd and 5. And China Spring extends the lead.
Look at this. This is almost like an extended running play. Getting that ball out to your athlete in Tristan Exline. When he gets out in space like that, he is hard to deal with. Again, another one of those plays where Tristan Exline is untouched into the end zone.
Extra point up and through. 20-7. China Spring with the lead. The second time today that McCollum hits Exline on a quick swing to the far side, and Exline does the rest. 35 yards to pay dirt, and China Spring with a 2-score lead mid-third quarter on Friday Night Football. To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Cash McCollum, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown as well. Both of his passing scores going to Tristan Exline, who, let's be honest, did most of the work on each of them, finding the end zone. And the #1 team in the state leads it 20-7 midway through the third quarter. Short kickoff fielded by Juju Prox at the 13. He's got some space up the near sideline. Stiff arms his way out to the 35. A nice return by Juju Prox, and good field position here for Kaufman. As Heckma Harrison, they try to find an answer here.
Yeah, they need one. And this offense has gone cold since their first drive and score. Hadn't had a lot going on. Obviously, the injuries that they've suffered. I think the Morrow injury really has held this offense back a bit. He's a big 1-2 punch with Braxton Garman. With him being gone, they just have to find someone else to pick up that slack. And hopefully it's someone like Prox.
Handoff here on first down, right up the middle, right into the teeth of the defense once again. It has been tough sledding there in the middle. This China Spring defense has loaded the box, Heckma, and they've really made life difficult on Braxton Garman.
No, they really have. And again, this is anytime he's coming into the interior of that defensive line, he is one of those running backs that you have to get to him before he gets up a full head of steam. Once he gets up a full head of steam, it is too late, right? And he also has that stiff arm to boot. So they've been doing a good job of getting him before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
And this time they get to him behind the line of scrimmage. Knifing through for the tackle is J.T. Connor.
And we've seen J.T. Connor make a few tackles like that, getting penetration. And these are guys, I mean, right now, they're just not able to get a hat on a hat. We saw earlier this Lions offensive line, when they're moving this China Spring defensive line off the ball. Not so much here. As you see big number 55, Greg Salazar, he's been disruptive as well in the middle of this defense.
3rd down and 13. They'll have to go to the air here. Burleson looking backside into triple coverage. Knocked away. They're very lucky that ball wasn't picked off. Cage McLeod had his name written all over that ball.
No, he really did. And how about this?
Almost intercepted by the Cougar
going
defense.
Back across your body, Ty Burleson just trying to make something happen, throws into triple coverage. That is disaster averted right there, boy, because the only thing we hadn't seen go wrong right now for the Kaufman Lions has been a turnover, and that would have been it right there.
4th down and 13, and out comes Gallegos to punt it away once again. He had one blocked earlier today, this time a short kick up the far sideline. will take a good Kaufman bounce and roll all the way down to the 34-yard line, where it's down by Caleb Lewis. And out comes this China Spring offense one more time. Heckma, this feels like an opportunity if you are Tyler Beatty, where you're saying to your team, let's go find the knockout punch.
Yeah, this is it. This is nail and Kaufman time. And, you know, for Kaufman, we've seen so many times this defense able to respond, but they've been, you know, put out so many times in trying to get these stops. I think they found the game plan. They've been running, they've been keeping the ball on the ground, but anytime they get the ball into Tristan Exline's hands, it's just danger zone when number 5 has it. 6 foot, 200 pounds, and he looks more like a running back than a receiver.
Nearly picked off there. It somehow got through to its intended target, Kyle Barton. There was a chance there for, I believe it was Dallas Chandler, to pick this football off. Caleb Lewis ends up with the tackle. Beg your pardon, it was
number 6,
Mitchum Patterson, that nearly picked it off.
How he missed this ball is beyond me, because
number 6, offense, holding, 10 yards, first down.
They're going to catch Cameron Campos with the hold there, so it will remain first down, but it'll become 1st and 20. But yeah, that was very nearly a pick there for Patterson.
You talk about a Kaufman Lion team that needed that play. Those sometimes are the difference in stealing back the momentum, because China Spring has all of the momentum in this game.
1st and 20 now. McCallum pressured, tries to dance away from it, gets to the far sideline. He's going to be able to pick up yardage here. Gets out beyond the original line of scrimmage. Look at Cash McCallum making plays.
And I'm sure this Kaufman Lions defense has got to be asking themselves, how did we allow him to escape out the back door? Eddie Reyes is in pursuit, and he's still able to get back a lot of the yards that they lost.
2nd and 12.
Interesting, the spot out of bounds was actually at the 32-yard line, so a gain of 8, not more like a dozen as it looked like as he was diving out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd down and 12 here. 3:53 third quarter in the area round of the UIL playoffs. McCallum to the air again. Quick throw over the middle, complete in the hands of Trey Hafford. Taken down right there, a pickup of 4. It'll be 3rd and 8.
And I wonder if Trey Hafford, we saw him at the beginning of this game. He took a blow to his knee and came out of the game.
3rd down and 7.
We know he's a big-time playmaker. Also X-line as well, but he's another one of those names that we've become accustomed to, of a guy on the outside that can make those same kind of plays that you see the X-line makes. And they've been respecting him on the punt returns as well, trying to kick it away from him. Just know how dangerous of an athlete he is.
3rd and 8, play action, near side, throw for Hafford, and he's got the first down and a little bit more, pushing the pile forward. Helmet came flying off. There will be a flag at the back end of this. I think they're going to catch a face mask that helped rip that helmet off.
Man, see that helmet rolling out of there. I think there's not a head in it.
Another look at it here. Strong throw, and then
personal foul, face mask. That's what caused the helmet to come off. Number 8 can stay in the game. And penalty is on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
As you hear there, well explained by Rob Jasper, our referee tonight, when the penalty leads to a helmet coming off, the player can remain in the football game. Otherwise, if a helmet pops off, that player has to come off for a play. But that will keep Trey Hafford on the football field. And he is lined up just to the left of Cash McCallum here on 1st and 10, now at the 38-yard line in Kaufman territory. It's Battles, rather. Jackson Battles in there that took the Wildcat quarterback snap, and he picks up 2 as it was student body right.
Jackson Battles in a quarterback. For
honestly, a good job by the Kaufman defense to knife through and stop it.
No, that's exactly what that was. And you see so many baby blue jerseys out to that side.
2-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 8.
And that's great pursuit angles taken by that Kaufman defense. And one thing that I have enjoyed about watching China Spring is just the way that these guys block from a wide receiver skill position standpoint. offensive line-wise, obviously spectacular job, but the skill position guys have been doing a wonderful job as well.
And here comes Battles once again out of Wildcat, breaking tackles and shoving guys off him down to the 15 before he's finally bottled up. Jackson Battles, the scatback, senior 5'6", 155, coming in and making some plays in the clutch moments here in the late third quarter.
And look at Battles, the little man not wanting to go down. He is smelling that end zone. They get a hand on him. Caleb Lewis trying to wrap him up. He's got to tackle this guy like 3 times to get him on the ground.
Battles earns a first down inside the red zone. They'll mark him down at the 17, and now back comes Cash McCollum in there at quarterback. McCollum claps for the snap. Handoff here for Barton, trying to get the edge on the far side. Has the corner, gears down and cuts upfield. He's going to be inside the 10, a pickup of 9 on the play.
And they're giving Kyle Barton a two-way go. Look at him on the outside. He has the option to cut this back inside, but he is trying to get it all the way out, stretch it out as far as he possibly can to pick up that positive yard. He knows that those cornerbacks are making a business decision as whether they want to run into him or not.
Barton lowers his shoulder inside the 5. First and goal, China Spring.
Good tough run by Kyle Barton, brought down by
China Spring. They're starting to feel it. Look at number 54, Colby Hale, just blocking guys. That is what they call a pancake.
First and goal, China Spring, as we are now over 1,900 of you watching with us right now on the WFA YouTube channel. We do appreciate you all being here tonight. Please click the like button, click the subscribe button here on the WFA YouTube channel, as we've brought you a game every week throughout the high school football season here on Friday Night Football. First and goal, end zone shot. Knocked away. They were looking for Hafford on the fade ball to the near side, but Dallas Chandler there to defend it.
Intended for Hafford.
Yeah, Dallas Chandler just playing it underneath, but Hafford goes up.
Pass defended by Dallas Chandler.
It's the angle just a little, taking a bad angle on it, and we've seen all of their playmakers tonight get involved and make some things happen. It's been Kyle Barton. I think I've been so impressed with him now in the second half. It's been tough running.
Second down and goal from the 4. McCollum. Pressure off his backside, fires end zone, right on target, caught, touchdown.
McCollum's pass complete to
Kayvon Rogers on the receiving end on an absolute dot from Cash McCollum.
And Kayvon Rogers, look at how he extends out and get this ball. That's just pretty. That is so pretty. That's another one for the highlight reel. Number 9 doing a good job catching that ball, getting his feet down in bounds. China Spring is rolling.
The extra
47 seconds left in the third quarter, and China Spring has taken a 3-score lead. Cash McCollum, 4 total touchdowns on the day. This one the most impressive throw of the evening for the junior, and it's 27-7 China Spring, late third.
Wake up at daybreak to get your local news, weather, and traffic. But hey, it doesn't have to stop here.
No, we're passing the ball to our friends at GMA.
That's right. Your best mornings continue right here on GMA.
With exclusive interviews, all the top breaking news.
And everything you need to know to get going. And hey, nice catch, Robin.
All right.
Local live traffic updates when you need them.
And don't forget about the weather.
Get your day started with Daybreak.
With Daybreak and GMA.
Every morning.
The China Spring Cougars, 4A Division II champs a year ago. Tonight in control late in the third quarter here in the area round of the 4A Division I playoffs, as they moved up half a step in the last realignment in the UIL to 4A Division I. And already finding themselves as the #1 team in the state in this classification.
Well, that was such a pretty route, though. I'm still just trying to. That's one of those take your breath away, Diggs on the outside, and
yeah,
like you said, before the drive even started, you said, could this be the ball game? Still have a quarter left of action, but man, look at this. This is just pretty.
A little whip route, and McCollum put it right on him.
That is exactly what. And when you run a whip route like that and you fake it inside and you get back outside, that's one of those things where as a quarterback, you've got to put it in an area where only your receiver can get it. If you throw that thing a little bit short, that's a house call for your DB.
Yeah. This China Spring defense is fired up now. They know Kaufman needs to continue to hand the ball off to Braxton Garman because he is the lion's share of their offense, and they are geared up to stop him. Look at that from Greg Salazar throwing him back.
Yeah, big 55. We've been talking about him a lot. The big fella that's been playing for a very long time since his freshman season.
2nd down and 9. They gave Garman a yard on that play. They'll go to the air now. Burleson up the seam, has a man. Juju Prox just missed him. Now a non-contact issue there for Gabe Watkins, who lost his feet right after the play. You hate to see that. Another look here at the deep shot from Burleson. I'm kind of wondering why Prox didn't put his hands out and try and catch that football. But then you see the injury there at the back end as Watkins grabbed at his knee. We'll keep an eye on that, but he came right to the sideline.
And maybe it's the angle that we're looking at it from, Mike. But you're right. To me, it looked like Prox had an opportunity to lay out for that ball. He just didn't.
3rd down and 9. To the air again here for Burleson. He'll come near side again, this time for Dallas Chandler. Nearly made the one-handed grab, tried to sell it at the end, but that ball did hit the turf, and it's 4th down.
That was going to be a heck of a sell if he was able to sell that one.
One more look at it as we hit the quarter break. 3 in the books here in Corsicana. Heck of an effort there from Dallas Chandler, but to no avail. And we head to the 4th. 27-7, China Spring with the lead.
In a world filled with motion, we are the constant. Filled with storms, we are the calm. Filled with uncertainty, we are reassurance. We bring the truth. We bring hope, conviction, a legacy of grit, determination, honesty, and relevant reporting that doesn't just inform, but inspires. We are WFAA.
Back on Friday Night Football, 4th quarter action in the area round of the UIL Playoffs, 27-7. The score in favor of the #1 team in the state in 4AD1, the China Spring Cougars. 4th down and 9. And Kaufman will have to punt it away here, down 3 scores. Shout out to Lenda Port in the YouTube comments, says Go Cougars, says 1978 grad of China Spring. That was the year they won their first state championship. Wobbly kick up the near side. Will take a Kaufman bounce, but only to the 42-yard line in Kaufman territory. So China Spring up 20, and now with fantastic field position here.
1st and 10 for the Cougars.
McCollum will have 4 wide receivers, 2 to either side here. To the left in the sidecar is Kyle Barton on 1st and 10 from the 42 in Kaufman territory. McCollum's going to go to the air. Pressured, flag on the play. McCollum somehow was able to throw that football left-handed. The flag is in the area of a hold, and you can see it right there in the middle of the screen. Eddie Reyes got held significantly. Good effort by McCollum.
Number 5 was in there, so there's no intentional grounding. We do have holding on the offense. 10 yards, previous spot, first down.
The effort from McCollum is what allows this to still be first down for China Spring. Otherwise, obviously, Kaufman would have taken the result of the play there and taken second down and 20.
Yeah, and I tell you, Eddie Reyes, he has that jersey, boy. That's an extra small that he's wearing. So when you get enough of that jersey that you make him have to adjust it, they're going to call that holding penalty.
So first down and 21 is what they'll say officially here in-house. They've got to get to the 32-yard line to pick up a first down. McCollum's going to run the option again. Cuts upfield, takes it himself, earns back all those penalty yards. Ball came out. He got back on top of it somehow.
The ball was ruled down. Cash McCollum.
Yeah, they're going to get him. He's down on the play.
Pick up of 12 yards.
But look at this block, and they just stick
Second
on you out there. Boy, no,
he was not down.
He was not. That came out early.
But credit to McCollum. He pounced back on top of it immediately. A gain of about 13 on the play. It'll be second down and 8.
But what a great season of Texas high school football this has been so far. Mike, this is amazing season.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed.
It has been a pleasure to be a part of it. Second down and 8. McCollum going up the seam. Has a man behind the defense. Trey Hafford in stride. Touchdown, China Spring.
Touchdown, Cougars.
40 yards on the hookup from McCollum to Hafford. And for the 5th time tonight, McCollum in on a touchdown.
Oh, this is smooth as silk. This is a post route for Trey Hafford. We talked about his impact and him going out early. It looked like he had a knee injury. He's worked through that. A guy that plays on both ends, DB and receiver. This guy's come up clutch a lot on a few of these drives. We've given a lot of credit so far to Tristan Exline, but Trey Hafford getting involved in the scoring here, and it's right like rain for China Spring.
A sign there in front of the China Spring fans said, "Hope you enjoy basketball season." China Spring getting ready to end another team season tonight, 34-7, early 4th on Friday Night Football.
Sometimes parties can tend to go on slightly longer than planned. For Izzy, that's not a problem at all, since she can now catch the 4, 5, 6, or even 10 p.m. newscasts after they air on the new WFAA+. Party on, kids. Are you a consummate multitasker like Chris Lawrence? Cooking, well, attempting. Dinner for the family while also craving a dose of news? Now you can chop and cook while still tuning in to any live newscast on the new WFAA+.
Back on Friday Night Football. There it is. Have fun at basketball practice. That's a cheeky fan from China Spring.
Oh, man. Oh, come on.
It is the nature of this time of year.
The fact that they made that, okay?
There's a level of confidence that comes along with that. There's no doubt.
You think? Jeez. Oh, man.
Ball sails into the end zone. Touchback. 1st and 10. The 25-yard line for the Lions.
At China Spring, they are good, man. They are. It's a good team. I'm really impressed, Mike, with everything that we've seen from them. We talked so much in the week when leading up to this, before we got this game, and you know, we tried to find a lot of information. You get these teams like this, there's not a lot. You don't have the Dallas Morning News that gives you a lot of stats. Max Preps don't give you a lot of stats, but then you talk to the coaching staff, and then you understand why they are so good. You know, he talked about, Coach Beatty talked about the, you know, even from the middle school, being involved with the high school and just teaching these guys about the process and what it takes to be Cougars, even down to the Little League. These guys have wanted their entire young lives to be in this arena, to be varsity football players, and here they are, you know, playing for a repeat championship. This is huge, man. In the China Spring community, I asked the question, I said, man, what do you guys do? in China Spring. I've never been to China Spring. Man, hey, man, you would come out here, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. No, he didn't say that. He said, look, it's a quiet community. We don't have a lot going on out here. We just get to enjoy our kids. These guys get to grow up here in this community. They want to get involved in anything. This is a short trip to Waco.
Yeah.
So
he said they've got elementary school kids, middle school kids that are lined up and run out on the field with these kids every Friday night to get the opportunity to experience what it's like to be a Cougar, because they idolize these kids and want to be a Cougar one day. A lot of these kids playing out here tonight were in those shoes not that long ago. 3rd and 1, Garmin with the carry. He will have enough for the first down.
Braxton Garmin up the middle for a Lions first down.
Yeah, I loved everything about our conversation with Coach Beatty. And I just wanted to pick his brains about what it means for him to be from one of these programs where, look, he comes into stadiums where people don't, I mean, look, they have athletes galore on the other sides, and they come up against some teams like you showed the gauntlet of teams that they played last year. Yeah. #1 teams. These guys had all kinds of athletes, and they come up against China Spring, a program that they hadn't heard a whole bunch about. And it's like, man, these guys just show up and beat the brakes off of you because they play complete and total team ball. They don't do things to shoot themselves in the foot. We haven't seen any undisciplined play from China Spring at all, like things like personal fouls and things of that nature.
Not that we've really seen that from Kaufman either, but your point about just this is why they win. They're rock solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen situations where teams are getting beat or when they're in close contests, and the train comes off the tracks pretty early with undisciplined play. This is the complete opposite of that. These teams, they don't make the same mistake twice, and you just love to see it.
Nice job here defensively as they string out Juju Prox as he was running there on jet motion. X-line with the tackle, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 9 from right at the 40-yard stripe.
And how about that? You have your receiver that has scored 2 touchdowns and has been a complete dog out here on the court, on the field, and here he is coming right up and making a tackle on defense. A lot of these guys going both ways, and I'm going to say China Spring as many times as I possibly can to amend for the many times that I put the S on the end. So that's what I'm doing to the audience. I'm just saying China Spring, so you forgive me.
3rd down and 9 here for Kaufman. They've got to get to the 49 to pick up a first down. Burleson to the air, over the middle, knocked away. Nearly intercepted as Hafford came screaming in.
Burleson's pass almost
and broke it up.
Burleson's pass almost picked off by Rogers. Pass falls incomplete. It's 4th down and 9.
Boy, he had that thing right in his hands, and that was the kind of play in the state game that he was making plays like that over and over again that got him the MVP.
So now Kaufman will punt it away. Down 34-7, 8:34 on the clock here in the 4th, and punting. This is just about the white flag from the Kaufman Lions. That ball bounces out of bounds at the 31-yard line. You mentioned China Spring and the reasons why they've been successful over the course of the last couple of years as they've built this program up to a state champion a year ago, and they're certainly hoping they're going to be able to say they were champs in back-to-back years. You look around the roster, and the thing that struck me over the course of this week, Heckma, was they don't strike you as especially big. They don't have a ton of size in their offensive line. They've got a starting offensive lineman that's 210 pounds, another that's 220, another that's 230, another that's 195. Landon McMillan, their center, 5'10", 255. That's about it in terms of anything resembling size up front for this team, and their backs and receivers aren't especially big. Cash McCollum's a big kid, 6'3", 210, is another nice carry here up the far sideline. Will go for first down yardage again for Tristan X-Line.
And that's a first down for the Cougars.
But the thing that even Jeremy Burleson, the head coach from Kaufman, said to us earlier this week, he said, we feel like we're about the same size as them. We feel like we're about the same speed as them. But we have to match the intensity with which they play the game. He said they play at a fever pitch from the word go. He said we have to match that all night long. it's hard to do. And China Spring will wear you down, as we've seen them do to multiple teams over the course of this season.
And I'll give you guys a look behind the curtain for us here at WFAA. Me and Mike getting the prep together for these games. We talk to these coaches, and you and with just getting the data and comparing notes. We're expecting China Spring, for all the success that they had, to have a bunch of giants walking around out here.
Second and 8.
I mean, it is 4A Division I football, but within that scope, yes. Giants for 4A D1. I expected them to be big. Yes. With how great a season they've had, with how fantastic a run they had last year through the playoffs, I was expecting them to be bigger than they are. Despite the lack of size, they are very clearly a fantastic football team.
So my point is, when you ask the question to Coach Beatty, is Jake Trotter 5'6"?
I know. I know.
Do you have that reverse? Is he 6'5"? And he says, no, he's 5'6", 175 pounds. And oh, by the way, he was our nose tackle last year on the state championship team. You're right. It doesn't matter about the size of these dogs. I mean, it's the fight in these guys, and they fight you for 4 quarters. It doesn't matter. I mean, we've seen some tremendously big athletes, and the way that these guys take the field and the way that they play for 4 quarters is a testament to this championship pedigree that this team has. I mean, again, I only make that point about size to say that it really doesn't matter when you have a guy in front of you that is relentless and is going to come after you time and time again. And this offensive line, we've seen them. They are driving these guys off of the ball. Everybody blocks for one another. I mean, it is a complete team effort. We hadn't seen one guy lit up. And here we are, 6:33 into the 4th quarter, and they're still blocking like they were in the 1st quarter.
Yeah. Both Coach Beatty and Coach Burleson talked about how both of their teams throughout this season have not started games especially quickly. They've both been second-half football teams. China Spring especially. They were down, I believe, 21-0 to Melissa, came all the way back and won that game 42-41. They were in a tight game at halftime with Waco La Vega, pulled away and won that game. They were down at points to Stephenville, came back and won that game. As another nice effort here to pick up the first down on the quick throw to the near side by Trey Hafford. And it'll be 1st and 10 inside the red zone now for the Cougars.
And that's another first down.
Another example of it tonight, a second-half football team. This game was 13-7 a few minutes into the 3rd quarter. And then China Spring began to finally wear Kaufman down, and they have now pulled away to be in complete control here midway through the 4th.
No, and you know what I think the other part of this has been? Defensively, they made the adjustments. We saw Braxton Garman in that 1st quarter, the long runs that he was making. They found a way to clamp down on the edge and not allow him to get back outside. I think that's where the big runs were happening. But they started to just kind of calm down, and a big part of the success that they had was getting behind Cash McCollum in this read option offense. And we saw him start to have some success. And when that success happened, when he scored the touchdown down here on the read up, where everyone was thinking that he was going to flip that out to Caleb Barton, and things started to change from there.
One last time, ladies and gentlemen, we love the Collins Street Bakery here in Corsicana for over 125 years. That bakery has been dedicated to crafting the very best baked goods.
34-7 our score right now. Timeout called there by China Spring, their first timeout of this second half.
We encourage you one last time. A deluxe fruitcake, cherry icebox cookies, cheesecakes, fudge pie, pecan pie, and so much more.
Did I hear right? A deluxe fruitcake?
It's the Collins Street Bakery down here, as you're hearing the public address announcer. It's got a cult following down here in Corsicana. Okay. I do know that actually.
I've been called a lot of things, but it's deluxe fruitcake. Okay.
Out of the timeout, 1st and 10. Handoff here goes for about 2 in the hands of Barton. Give you a look at the graphic here. Looking forward now is China Spring well on their way to advancing into the regional semifinals. Lake Worth and Carter in a rather bizarre football game up at Apogee Stadium at UNT. It is 7-2. Lake Worth with the lead in that game, I believe in the fourth quarter, if this box score is correct. 7-2. Lake Worth, a team who's had a nice season this year. They are
number 68 on the defense. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the game. Be half the distance to the goal. First down.
So they're going to get Tater Hicks with the unsportsmanlike penalty.
Hey, Phelps, you go tell him what you have.
And they said 68. I'm thinking it's 58 because I hadn't seen Tater Hicks on defense all night. So
I think he's been out there some.
Yeah?
But you're right. Reyes is one of their starters defensively. 58, not 68. You see 58 there right in the middle of your screen. I didn't see the offending act that drew the penalty.
That's Big Tater right there.
Another look at the play to see what the penalty may have been. Reyes is right there in the middle of the screen.
No, that's 68.
Oh, on the far side. Okay.
Yeah.
Did he say a magic word? Because I'm not seeing any physical actions that would have drawn the flag, but perhaps he said a word that he can't, and the penalty is going to put the ball at the 9-yard line.
All I saw was he was hanging on to a guy's ankle. He's just trying to take a body part with him. Big Tater. Making our first matchup, we saw them versus Sunnyvale. I call him a trash can full of dirt. Guy that was just moving people out of the middle. He's a big kid and had himself a phenomenal career.
I saw somebody in the YouTube comments earlier tonight that's from Kaufman saying, you know, we've been talking so much about Braxton Garman. He said, forget Braxton. He is our best football player, Tater Hicks, with what he's done over the course of the season on the offensive and defensive line. First and goal. Handoff running left side. Good job to break a tackle in the backfield. And Miles Reed gets to the sideline. Maybe a gain of a yard. A flag flies in at the back end of the play here.
Around the left
I think they may get him for a horse collar.
Flag down.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear horse collar right there. Jeremy Burleson with a conversation here with our officiating crew. Giving an earful to Rob Jasper.
That's to say the least. He is not pleased.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 6 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So they get Mitchum Patterson with the penalty, and that'll move the ball a couple of yards forward. See if you can get a look at what happened here. Oh, right at the end of the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
textbook horse collar.
Well, no, it wasn't the horse collar.
No?
Clay, if we can run that back one more time, you'll see Mitchum Patterson right in the middle of the frame, trailing behind the play. He missed the tackle here, and then he's going to run right into the back of number 54, Colby Hale, and that's what drew the unsportsmanlike penalty away from the play. So now it's first and goal. Wildcat quarterback into the pile was Jackson Battles, slung down at the 2.
Jackson Battles, tackled by Eddie Reyes.
Yeah, well, things getting definitely chippy out here.
Second down and goal.
Under 4 minutes to play in this one is China Spring, the number 1 team in the state in 4AD1, the reigning champs in 4AD2. Looking to move on to the regional semifinals. Timeout called.
Kaufman, their first timeout.
You see Coach Beatty talking to his guys, and I can just imagine him telling them to keep a cool head. Just not have anything happen where you're suspended for the next game.
Comment from Robert Atkins in the YouTube feed answering your question from earlier, Heckma Harrison, about what do you do in China Spring. Robert Atkins says we go to Griff's for breakfast. That's what we do in China Spring.
Okay.
Griff's for breakfast. We'll have to check that out the next time we're in China Spring.
Have us over. You know, it's not a problem. We're invite away. I actually was talking to Coach Beatty, and I said, man, I've never been to China Springs. What do you guys do? And I think he mentioned Griff's. he said something about Griff's donating for the state rings. Did he not? Am I wrong on that? I believe that's what he said.
Yeah.
So Griff's is obviously the spot to go to in China Spring.
2nd down and goal. Another direct snap here to Battles, but nowhere to go.
I still can't get over that sign. Enjoy basketball.
By several Lions. 3rd down and goal.
Hey man, we've seen some pretty awesome signs over this course of this year. But have fun in basketball practice,
That's
boys.
pretty good.
Yep. That about sums it up.
You got to have a sense of humor about these kinds of things. 3rd down and goal. Battle still in there. A Wildcat quarterback. He's going to take it once again, trying to get the corner, and this time he will. Jackson Battles into the end zone, and China Spring extends the lead.
Battles.
The little man Jackson Battles working his way to the corner of the end zone again, still blocking like it's the first quarter. And this has been complete domination here in the second half for China Spring.
They led 13-6 at halftime. 27 on the board so far here in the 4th, and make it 28. 41-7. China Spring with the lead. Moving on to the regional semifinals.
Left in tonight's game. The score now, the Cougars 41. The Lions.
To the end zone for South Oak Cliff.
Our brand new color commentator, Heckma Harrison. Heckma, welcome to the team.
Man, I'm excited.
Touchdown, Randy Reed. Back in Corsicana, 41-7. What a second half from China Spring, showing why they are the #1 team in the state in 4A Division I. Cash McCollum with 5 total touchdowns, 4 through the air and a rushing score. And now Jackson Battles adding to the touchdown tally for the Cougars. A 3-yard touchdown run to make it 41-7 with 3 minutes to play here in the 4th.
Yeah, complete domination here in the second half. I think they're playing with a lot of their second string here to finish off the game. But how impressed have you been with Cash McCollum?
He was very impressive tonight in a spot where he's really having to fill some major shoes. He's shown the ability tonight, even in the playoffs, to come out and make plays and lead this football team. That's a big deal for this program, that he's looking this sharp in a play. I mean, he's not going to act like he hasn't done it during the regular season. 25 touchdown passes, 70% completion percentage. He's made plays for them in the regular season already. But the playoffs is a different animal, and against a good Kaufman team that, again, at points this year was ranked in the state, he came out and put on a show tonight.
No, he really did. And I love what you said about those big shoes to fill. But, man, he has been one cool guy, you know, cool customer out here, making plays when they needed it, walking into the end zone earlier, and making some incredible
Garmin
throws.
on the carry for the Lions, brought down by number 58, Isaac
Garmin with the carry there, a pickup of 10. We gave you the breakdown that he was 210 yards shy of the all-time single-season rushing record for the Kaufman Lions. He most likely won't get there. He'd need to rip off a 65-yarder right now to have a chance at it. He's at 120 yards tonight. A very nice night from Braxton Garmin, but not the 210 that he needed coming into this evening.
And yeah, earlier you said that there were, comment mentioning and saying that obviously Braxton Garmin wasn't obviously not the only guy that's out here and showing love to everybody. That's exactly what we want to do on this broadcast. So many of these guys out here have had great games. Will Bauer, Eddie Reyes, everyone out here, Jordan Knowles, Meacham Patterson, all of these guys for the Lions have played lights out and tried to do their absolute best, but they come up against a China Spring squad that obviously just did not give up and played for 4 quarters. Also, Ty Burleson, the sophomore quarterback, the future's bright for him. You know, here's a young man that isn't going to do anything but get better as a quarterback, and he has some young talent to throw to. Caleb Amaro went out of the game. I believe it was the second quarter. He went out with a knee injury, never came back into the game. Hopefully he's going to be okay, but he's going to be a part of the future plans for this program as well. So all is not lost. They'll look at this tape, and this is going to be something for them to build on all through the spring for Coach Burleson. And once you know for Kaufman, they're going to come back stronger, bigger, and better. I've talked to you. It's been an inside joke to say that we'll always have Kaufman. And I'm telling you, I've been saying this because the city of Kaufman was lights out, incredible.
The way that y'all treated us, for those of you that are still watching with us right now, still up over 1,600 of you with us right now on the WFA YouTube channel. The way that Kaufman welcomed us on homecoming for that night against Sunnyvale was pretty special. You guys rolled out the red carpet for us. We do appreciate it. Throw up the far side here on 2nd down and 5 will fall incomplete as we are now under 40 seconds left in this football game. Give you a score update on some games that matter elsewhere in this region. Kennedale and Salina in a good one in the 3rd quarter. 28-24, Kennedale with the lead in that one, and this is big. 4th quarter, Anna and Stephenville, 2 of the top teams in the state, both ranked in 4A Division I. Anna with a 33-32 lead that they just took moments ago. 7.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. They lead by 1 on Stephenville. That ball through the hands of Juju Prox and incomplete.
Pass ball's incomplete.
We've seen some great quarterbacks. Ryder Lambert is just one of them.
So it's going to be 4th down now and 5. 33 seconds left on the clock in this one. Lake Worth did win their game 7-2 against Carter, so that will be the matchup in the 2nd round. China Spring and Lake Worth. Fourth and 5, no choice for Kaufman but to go for it and try and make one last stab at it over the middle. Incomplete. And now China Spring can kneel on it and head to the regional semifinals. An impressive win tonight for the Cougars, the #1 team in the state.
Well, hash browns all around at Drifts tomorrow. How about that?
Please remain in the stands unless you are authorized to be.
Free refills on the coffee. Can't wait to see Griffs.
We appreciate y'all being with us tonight on the WFA YouTube channel, WFA Plus, KCEN Plus down in the Waco area for a lot of you China Spring folks that wanted to tune in. We do appreciate you guys being with us tonight. Do subscribe to the WFA YouTube channel. We'll bring you a game every week, all season long, and we certainly hope to be back with you next season here on Friday Night Football as well. Cash McCallum had himself a heck of a night, fitting to let him kneel on it one final time and send China Spring to the regional semifinals. 41-7 the final score. McCollum with 5 combined touchdowns on the night, and the #1 Cougars moving on in the playoffs.
And we wish you a safe trip home.
It's an outstanding game, Mike. Outstanding game and wonderful opportunity for us to have an opportunity to call this game for the Kaufman Lions and China Spring Cougars. These are 2 teams that battled it out for 4 quarters, but I tell you what, it just came down to the Cougars and just how tough they played all around. I'm so impressed with their skill positions, guys like Tristan Etzline and Trey Hafford, Kyle Barton, all of these guys played tough. You talked about earlier in the open how their playmakers would play a key part in this, and they absolutely did.
Give you a look at the bracket now, moving forward for the China Spring Cougars. They advance to face Lake Worth in the regional semifinals. Salina, we just told you moments ago, trailing Kennedale in the third quarter, 28-24. And Anna with a 33-32 lead midway through the fourth on Stephenville on the other side of this bracket. Chances are really good, although Kennedale will say, hang on a second now. Chances are really good you're going to have a state-ranked team come out of the other side of the bracket to face likely China Spring, all due respect to Lake Worth, who's had a very nice season there just north of Fort Worth. China Spring, we saw tonight, Heckma, is a buzzsaw and a team that just wears you down bit by bit by bit.
Yeah, and maybe it was from Coach Beatty when he said that, look, we don't start very fast, but what we're going to do is as the game progresses, we're just going to get better and better, and that's what we saw. We saw these guys by the time they got to the third quarter, when they came out from halftime, it was like some other guys put on their jerseys. This was a completely different group, but, you know, shout out to them. And I have had so much joy in watching these guys play. We talk about them and size and all that none of that matters. It's just the pride that they took in blocking for one another, the way that they played defense, the way that they shut down Braxton Garman and did not allow any of those big, long runs to gash them like they did in that first quarter. That's just a testament to these guys and how disciplined they are. And I am almost, look, nothing is certain, okay?
Sure.
But this is a team that I'm sure will be at AT&T Stadium.
Wow. That is a big statement because they are going to have to make their way through a very deep and very talented Region 2. There are tons of teams in this region that can play some serious ball, but China Spring has already shown that they can beat Stephenville. They'll have an opportunity perhaps to play them again, or maybe it'll be Anna that comes out of that side of the bracket. Kennedale and Salina certainly options as well. It's going to be interesting to see how this region does shake out. China Spring moving on to face Lake Worth in the next round. We talked about how they wear teams down. Kaufman in the first half had 7 first downs and 114 total yards. In the second half, just 3 first downs and just 53 yards. Only 35 rushing yards in the second half. Credit to Braxton Garman, who put up another nice night, 25 carries, 124 yards. But he was, unfortunately for Kaufman, about all they had offensively. He had 124 of their 167 yards, if that doesn't paint the picture for you of just how much he was the lion's share of their offense tonight. Meanwhile, for China Spring, 185 yards in the first half. They finished with 411, 14 second half first downs to finish with 22 overall. Cash McCollum, Kyle Barton, Tristan Exline, Trey Hafford, all 4 of them really played an impressive football game and a very impressive second half to run away and hide from Kaufman tonight.
And then not only those names that you just called off and the performance that they had offensively, they did the same on defensively to limit those first downs. I mean, so these guys are going to be sore and tired tomorrow because of the job that they had to do on both sides of the ball. Tristan Exline, can't say enough about him. You know, we talked about Trey Hafford, but Tristan Exline really was one of those guys that, not knowing a lot about him and his athletic ability, just so impressed with him and what he was able to do in open field. He's just one of those really sneaky, quick, and elusive players, and he's the reason why I'm able to just jump out the cake and say he's the guy. This is going to be the reason why they get back to AT&T Stadium. And also their head coach, Coach Beatty, man, what a quality guy.
Yeah,
you know,
he was great to talk to as they hoist the gold ball in the air. That's the second of what they hope will be 6 trophies that they hoist over the course of this next month or so. But he was great to talk to earlier this week, Coach Beatty. Give you some stats from this football game. We mentioned Braxton Garman, 25 for 124. Dallas Chandler had the one touchdown for Kaufman, capping that early touchdown drive as the Lions did lead this game 7-0 midway through the opening quarter. But from that point forward, it was all Cash McCallum, Kyle Barton, Tristan Exline, Trey Hafford, McCollum finishing 11 of 14, 209 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air, another 8 carries for 55 and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Kyle Barton didn't find the end zone tonight, but was really the bell cow for them all night long. 21 carries, 89 yards on the night. Jackson Battle, 6 carries for 28, and the late touchdown to make it 41-7. Tristan Exline, a couple carries for 20 yards. Trey Hafford, 4 for 10. But through the air is where Hafford and Exline really did their damage. 7 receptions, 118 yards, and a touchdown for Trey Hafford, our player to watch tonight from the Cougars. Showed out and showed up for us and really showed why we picked him to be our player to watch tonight. And then Tristan Exline, who you talked about, who really, I think, had the best game of anybody tonight. 2 receptions, 77 yards, the 2 touchdowns. Some really impressive moves to find the end zone on both of those plays, and also made a ton of big plays for them defensively as well.
No, it's both sides of the ball is where it was done. Can't say enough about Cash McCollum. Can't say enough about him, the job that he did, the shoes he filled. And just before I forget, something that Coach B said when we talked with him, he said, look, these gold balls are important, but these guys are playing for one another. And that is what I saw, Mike. They just did that. They played for one another. It was this is a team win. I can talk about all these other guys and the touchdowns that they made, but it was just the superior blocking up front that was able to spring those guys. And most of the time when we saw Tristan Exline running into the end zone, he was going in untouched because he had such an envoy of blockers in front of him just clearing the way.
Really impressive effort from China Spring tonight, showing why they are the #1 team in the state in 4A Division II. Try and get you an update on these 2 games that we're waiting to finish elsewhere in the region. Salina has just now taken the lead on Kennedale. 8:34 left in the 4th. In that one, 31-28. Bobcats lead Kennedale in that one. See if we can get Anna and Stephenville to refresh with anything new. It looks like Anna's going to win this football game. Quarterback Neal is the last play listed on the play-by-play here on the DMN's website. 33-32. Anna with the lead on Stephenville, and the #4 team in the state rankings looks to be on their way to dethroning the defending 4A Division I state champion Stephenville. That would be a seismic win for the Anna program. I heard people talking about it earlier this week, Heckma. Anna's had a fantastic season. Beat Salina for the first time in like 50-something years. Unbeaten still to this point. A tremendous year for the Coyotes. But Stephenville's been there before. Stephenville knows what it's like to be in a big playoff game. They've got the pedigree. They've got the experience. They went to the state title game and won last year in 4A D1. Anna doesn't have any of that experience. Credit to the Anna Coyotes, because all of that is true. Everything that everybody was saying all this week about the experience disparity in that football game is true.
Yes.
And yet, here Anna is kneeling the football and winning that game against the defending champs. That is a huge win for that Anna program. Pardon my ignorance here on not knowing the lifespan of the Anna football program. That may well be the best win in the history of the Anna Coyotes.
Yes.
We just had one of the young men from China Spring right in front of the camera. That is Donnie Willette, making sure he gets some airtime and telling our photographer, Johnny Heath, just how proud he is of the fans tuning out from China Spring tonight, making the hour drive up here to Corsicana. Donnie Willette making sure he gets his airtime tonight here on Friday Night Football. Donnie, thank you so much.
He is kidding, and well-deserved. Well-deserved at that with the black paint on his face. But I want to go back to that, what you were talking about with Anna.
It is now final, 33-32 final score.
That is huge. We were talking in the open. We were talking about Kennedale. We were talking about Salina and all these other schools. And I said, look, don't forget about Anna. This is a program that has been on the move and building, and they're ranked for a reason. And so there's a lot. You mentioned when I said China Spring is going to AT&T, your words were, hey, they got a lot of teams that they have to go through, and based off of what they did last year is where I have my confidence in them. But I tell you, you're right, Mike. They've got some serious teams to go through.
They went through Murderers Row last year, though. You mentioned it. Clay Marshall, maybe we can pull that up real quick. Graphic number 2, just to give you one more look at China's road through the state tournament a year ago. Beat the number 1, the number 4, the number 7, and the number 2 teams in the state rankings in successive order in the regional semis, the regional finals, the state semis, and the state title game to win 4A D2 last year. So this team is no stranger to making their way through an incredibly difficult path to get to and win a state championship game. They're just going to have to basically repeat the feat. Tonight they had to beat a team that was state ranked at points this year. Next week they're going to have to beat a good Lake Worth team that's had one of the best seasons they've had in quite some time. And then chances are very good it'll be a state-ranked team, perhaps the Anna Coyotes, that await in the regional final in Region 2. And then it doesn't get any easier when they get to the state semis or the championship game either. But they've done it before. They're going to have to do it one more time.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're looking forward to it. They're not going to shy away from it. And with all of the experience that they have, the amount of players that have been playing varsity reps since their sophomore season, I think when you have that kind of experience to draw from, it just has a calming effect on your team. We've seen a lot of teams get down as they did. That in the first quarter they were down by 7 points, and I'm sorry, Kaufman made it really look easy.
Yeah.
China Spring didn't panic.
They didn't blink.
No.
They really didn't. So just to give you the rest of the bracket in 4AD1 and what may await China Spring, Brownwood is the lone state-ranked team in Region 1. So they would be the favorite. Decatur, another good team in that district, in that region, rather. We'll see who comes out of Region 1, but Brownwood probably the favorite as the 9th-ranked team in the state. Then on the flip side, you've got a bunch of options. Corpus Christi, Calallen, Bernie, El Campo, Lumberton, Tyler, Chapel Hill, a lot of really good teams on the other side of the bracket as well that might be awaiting at AT&T Stadium potentially for this China Spring team. It is going to be a gauntlet once again, but an impressive showing tonight. The Cougars saying, hey, we're ready for whatever awaits going forward.
Oh, I'm a believer. I am a believer and am fortunate to have this opportunity. China Spring shows up at AT&T Stadium, and for the life of me, I'm just like, man, where do these guys come from? How did they get here? But once you start following Texas high school football and you have that respect for the job that they do, and you showed all of those ranked opponents that they had to go through, it gives you more context to the job that they do. This is a solid team, and I'm sure Griff's tomorrow is going to be packed, lying around the building with people excited about, the anticipation of another state title coming to China Spring. But this is getting to know this team, getting to talk about these players. Again, when we found out that we had this game, that was the biggest part of this, is just finding out about them and what made these guys who they are. And when I sat here and just sitting here and calling this game, man, they bring you up to speed on who they are really quick.
When it's all said and done, it is a 41-7 win. And that young man right there, number 3, Cash McCollum, did he ever have big shoes to fill? Mr. Texas football, Major Bowden, had the job before him. He comes in tonight, throws for 209 yards and 4 touchdowns, runs for another touchdown as well, and leads his team to a 41-7 second-round win in the playoffs, and on to the regional finals they go. For our entire Friday Night Football crew, Director Clay Marshall, photographers Graham Rayner and John Heath, digital coordinator Paul Wedding, graphics coordinators Emil Moralda, and the one and only Heckma Harrison alongside. I'm Mike Leslie. So long from Corsicana. The final score, one last time, 41-7, China Spring dancing their way out of here with the gold ball and a win over Kaufman. All our Friday Night Football broadcasts stream live and are archived in perpetuity on the WFAA YouTube channel. And what a way to wrap up the season this is right here, and on the WFAA Plus app as well. This has been a proud presentation of the China Spring Cougars and of WFAA TV. Good night, everybody.